So you still playing Valorant?
I'll try. I'm really trying to just. Oh my god! Wait, I need to try and actually win because it'd be faster if we won. Okay, thank God.
Did you actually win?
No, we're on the final round.
Whoa,
Okay, hold up.
This is funny, BTS. At least.
Please, I'm literally trying not to go to overtime. I'm trying my hardest, my damnedest right now. I will say though, they have like 8 ults. Oh wait, are they broke? Oh, they're broke. Oh man, I can't play aggressive then. Shit.
Well,
No.
this funny, BTS.
I never play Valor for context. My friend asked me to play.
What? Your friend
Shit.
asked you to play Valorant?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That is crazy. But okay, it makes sense.
Ooh, oh yeah, they're committing here, huh? Wait.
Are they coming back or? Are they? No,
Oh my god.
and the funny thing too, Alice might be thinking, or no, I
It
think
might be over.
you won.
Oh, am I stupid? Oh, let's go.
Did you win?
Oh my god.
You
Oh my
popped.
god.
You popped up and muted.
I know. Oh my, wait, I top rank too. Let's go.
Send a screenshot of that. Honestly, send a screenshot of that.
I'm apparently about to record a podcast. I have to go, but GG's. We end up positive. We won.
Send a screenshot of your pop up. No, send a screenshot of your KA. Send a screenshot of your
Oh my
KA.
god. Wait. Oh shoot. Wait.
Say your KA.
Let's go. Let's go. Big wins.
So send
That's one way to start off. Send it where?
Wait. Oh damn it! Did you close it or?
No, I have a screenshot.
Yeah. Do you have a screenshot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Send a screenshot.
I'm putting a voice text.
Well. Save image. Oh, save image. Yeah. As proof of this pop-up for some reason. Bo actually popped up. What the fuck? Wait. Oh my god, you actually topped right?
Yeah, let's go.
23 and 13, damn.
I was on one.
Do you have? Wait, do you have a player called Half? What the hell?
Not the Splatoon player. This is my friend.
Damn.
My friend's the one play Half.
Wait, their name is called Half too. What the hell?
Yeah, right.
Oh.
I also thought the same thing.
Well, that's pure robbery. This is the first time there's not a Half in the community. You know? Oh my god.
Yeah.
But okay, that's a story. Well, how do you intro a podcast? That's a good question.
How do you start a podcast? This is a great way to start a podcast.
Yeah, no,
actually.
for me, this intro. Yeah, that's a great intro to a podcast. So, yeah. In the bandwidth idea, this is how we made it happen. In the context, we just yapped in this kind of VC. I think weeks ago. Like I think it was either here or it was in IPL chat. Like literally about like we should start this up because Cactus is not doing it. Cactus got Saf and Falco and like and kind of JFAG, but JFAG might be coming back to the catch match. But like, well, what about the pod people? Like,
yeah,
like us.
Yeah, exactly. We need something to represent ourselves in some way. We're always the ones behind the camera. We got to be in front of it every once in a while.
Yeah, we have so many things to talk about. Anyways, it's like in that kind of sense later on. Yeah. What do we call this? Well, I guess what do I call this? But yeah, but at the same time for you, like, I guess you could be called as small. Who knows? This might be who knows
I'm
what
more
happened.
of a fan. I'm more of a fan of more the merrier when it comes to the podcast. I need it's 4 white guys and a couple microphones, not
White?
One
Wait,
guy.
wait a second.
I'm not white. I'm not white. I'm just saying, you know, like the saying goes, 4 white guys in a microphone. It's not two, you know, or
So
you
like
know what I mean.
so like lemonade stand. So like the lemonade stand,
Exactly,
huh?
exactly like a lemonade stand.
Or like the cat is matching or the podcast, who knows?
Yeah.
Oh
True.
my god, this is fully just flaming everyone. We just flamed everyone. Hey, at least not trying to do something cool like that, so that's a good thing. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, anyways, I think anyways, you know what, fuck it, we're calling it the Chillcast. This is an also, it's an also joke that I did for all the streams I did, literally doing streams for that tournament. That's actually on my VOD channel, well, on my 24 channel. I literally called it the Chillcast because we didn't give a fuck, and the comedy was just really funny. The comedy was just us yapping.
That's the best commentary, and I like how like. I guess if we could talk directly about like lands and stuff, but
That's coming soon.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna segue us into the first topic, but no, I love when the cast feels very like chill, laid back, just doing whatever.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the best. That's a good thing. Like, talk about like casters real. Like, if we talk about casters in LAN versus casters on like actual streams, there's a different vibe to it. Because like caster on LAN, you get to like actually experience like the people there, while the casters on while the casters online, you only just hear the voice. The only way that you can actually see them is if you turn on webcams, which for weekly, which we both do. You do Trident and Squid Junction sometimes, and I do Paddling Pool and Louis tonight so far. And
SACs too.
Oh yeah, and you did CC as well, but that just ended recently too. So yeah. So like, there's a difference. Like when you're home, you can be more comfortable, but when you're in LAN, like you are kind of forced to be more peppy and more excited. But honestly, that's a good thing. Like it's a good positive vibe in nature, because if you're at home and you're stuck, like you can kind of see some people being sad sometimes too.
Yeah, it's like an intoxicating vibe. Like the energy is just high. People are already like loose, they're relaxed, they're just having a good time. I feel like when you ask somebody, it's like, oh my gosh, I showed up 5 minutes late, I'm nervous, I don't have any warm up. Either that, or they're like a seasoned person who's like, all right, this is my my eighth walk this week. Let's get into it. One or the other.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. It's like one or the other. But yeah. So quickly talk. What? Yeah, online. Yeah, obviously online, not IRL. Because IRL, like that 5 minute late thing, is really funny because you can get cucked out of commentary because of that.
Yeah.
Now I can say that myself because that happened to me. But okay, but now that we can slide into lands, now to see when he did that with casters. Who? Like the casters I got to see for the finals, because I did a little bit clipping of a trailer that never got shown for the finale of LCS because it was last second. Now the last casters was a week in time. Surprised, I'm honestly surprised that time was down to commentate. Honestly, because time is a season TO that actually did retire recently, but actually seeing time actually coming up and actually commentating again is kind of crazy. Like, oh, really good. Yeah. But who was the other commentators, by the way, that showed up?
Wait, for LCS or for
GatorLAN? We're talking about GatorLAN now.
Okay,
yeah, we're talking about GatorLAN now. Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, I was confused because you mentioned LCS. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was Time. Although I've seen Time before at a few other GatorLANs. Like he loves coming to GatorLANs every time, and every single time he likes hopping on the mic. So,
yeah, that's good.
It's like, yeah, it was pretty good. Oh, dude, I need to look back on the VOD. I hope it was saved somewhere in Splatoon Tourney, because I don't have access to Splatoon Tourney to save the VOD.
Oh, there was a VOD. Yeah, no, I can get that actively. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember, but I do remember Time being there for sure. Did we do 3 people? I remember doing 3 people at one point. It was funny though, just because we didn't have like set commentators for the day or anything. It was just open, and it was like, it got so crazy to the point where it's just like, it was just anybody in the building. We would just be like, who wants to sit over here? We need somebody talking over this set.
Oh.
That's kind of what it was. I kind of like the open mic idea for everything. It's nice. You get some interesting characters at times. But it definitely is funny. I wish it was a little more moderated at times.
Oh no, 100%.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was like behind the computer panicking half the time, so like the least of my worries was like what's going on in terms of the microphone, because I'm actively trying to make sure like it wasn't just me trying to spectate half the time. It was also me trying to make sure that the overlays didn't break
Yeah,
at any moment. So
because if I remember correctly, you use Node, right?
yes, I did.
Yeah, so you are a coder that JPEG does as well for that did happen to be used for LCS because JPEG did recently put out a look through about how they did the whole thing. So yeah, so you're one of those people. That's not some weird.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I'd rather like open up the code editors and try to figure out what's it called, Google Sheets. That's too much work for me.
It's trying to fit. I did the code edit in the Google Sheets. Damn.
It's simple. It's simple. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like, oh my gosh, listen. I'm not a Sheets guy. But it is honestly, if it were up to me, I would have straight up just manually edited like stuff on screen. So honestly, like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's either I do things manually or I'll code it myself. Or I say code, I use it very lightly because I wanted to test myself, especially like kind of understanding Node CG and doing it, because that was like kind of my first time actually like putting it to practice, like anything I've actually put together. And I'm not gonna say it's like completely original. I use the IPL dashboard for the most part, because if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Yeah,
And
true.
I took a lot of heavy inspiration. It's kind of just like a reskin of SAC graphics, honestly. But I wanted to try and like mix it up in a lot of different ways. But you know, I had school, I had work, I had a few other things, so it was funny. I feel like a big bulk of like the work I put onto it was actually at the event, like midstream.
Yeah,
And it's funny because I'm pulling up like VS Code on the side, being like, hold up, I need to save this new version. I think it fixes it, I promise. It's actually crazy.
That is actually crazy. Like I think noticing from like looking at the stream back and forth, because I did send you the bond that's unlisted. So yeah, like going from the first part, like it started from like nothing. Like it started from just the BRB screen, where it's just a basic flat, like the basic screen, and then if you go 2 hours in, you actually added the like BRB screen. Like was that code in last second or?
Yes, actually. I'm not gonna lie, I showed up like in a nervous sweat after 2 hours of driving, trying to set everything up, and it's funny because I think that is the charm of GatorLAN, in terms of like you could see my panic towards the beginning of the stream, and towards the end of the stream you could see like my final, like, oh my gosh, I think we're done here, guys. I think we actually finished the overlay. So it's kind of a journey. You're kind of going on a journey with me on like how to set up the actual overlay, and finally reach something I was more satisfied with. I wish I could have made it more unique and done it honestly more catered towards like an in-person setup. It's my biggest regret, but I know I didn't have the time. I didn't give myself the time to really like all in and do that. But yeah, I think that makes it a memorable stream, not only for me, but I hope everyone else who now knows like the backstory behind me struggling behind the graphics for most of it.
Damn, I just noticed too. It would have been good if I had just set up the screen share, the screen share podcast, because I know it's in the Dapple of the catch match. There is a scene for that, but you know what?
Okay.
You know what? Risk up. Don't worry, risk up. We can
You
set
can
it
always
up.
put it in post.
We
It's fine.
put it in post. Yeah, don't worry, we put it in post. But at the same time, it's up, so I can just add it right now. But talking more about that, how many cameras did you have?
Cameras?
How many cameras did you have?
Like, are we talking like virtual, like OBS cameras, or are we talking like cameras at the event?
We're talking about cameras at the LAN.
We had one webcam.
Yeah, one webcam.
Wait, maybe two. I think we had two. We had two webcams.
It's so funny that you're a gaslighter because it is actually two. because yeah, it is actually 2. Because
I forgot the one that put it at the casters. So it's 2. It's whopping 2.
Oh my god! But yeah, like why is that 1 hour and 17 minutes? It's just say hi Miku. Well,
Hi, Miku.
At 3 hours and 7 minutes. Why is it hi Miku? Who is Miku?
I am a personal. You have to scrub through it because at some point somebody brought
A Miku?
their little Miku plush, and we put it on the camera and everything.
Oh, I
And it was
found
like,
it.
"Hi, Miku.
I found it.
Hi, Hatsune Miku."
Oh my god.
She was in Fortnite at the time, or she was about to be.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think she was
And
about to.
we were
Yeah.
like, yeah. So it was like, you know what? We had to put respect on Miku's name. And my personal philosophy is I like messing around with the little flavor text. It's so much fun.
3 hours,
So,
5 minutes. 2 hours, 5 minutes, 25 seconds. So you like to mess around with favorite tag that much that you did gather in group picture, and you did hi Miku. They did group 3, and then I think the last time they actually. Oh wait, there was a mess up. The BRB and then you had 2 BRB screens, huh? I noticed,
I
right?
have 2 BRB screens.
Because the one at the start and the one that you were coding. Because
Oh my gosh, yeah, the one at the start was it's actually nothing. I never realized. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
you're dividing up to at 4 hours and 47 minutes. You can see the generic text and then the actual land text. So
Oh my gosh.
were you in the middle of coding during that time to fix the overlay?
Yeah. Oh, I think by the time we started the stream, we were like at least 30 minutes to an hour, like over 11. It was supposed to start at 11. I think we went live around like 11:30, like noon. And I was like, let's go. Because I don't know if you've been to GatorLAN or heard of it, but like we never start on never. 30 minutes, personal best. For sure, a personal best.
Honestly, no. If I'm being real, in all lands there is going to be a delay. Like for every land that I did go to, we were delayed by 30 minutes as well. So don't worry, you're not the only one. I think no lands were on time. That's the true thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe the only one that might have been on time was Chishul's, because Chishul's. But like literally everyone else was not on time. Even with the Big Dapple, they were not on time as well. Like that's the funny thing too. Because we get playing up for Big Dapple, I was on the first block yapping, and we had Wi-Fi, and we had on stage issues too. Because when we were doing setup, for me, I flew in like literally the morning of, so I was already tired. So when we were doing setup, I was going off adrenaline. But we did the second setup on the right stage, and then the left stage, we had to plug in the Ethernet. So
oh my gosh.
so literally it was delayed because we had everything set up but that left Ethernet, and we all forgot about it. And then they were taking like 20 minutes to actually put that all in. And then during that same time, me and Toppy was literally just doing Pokemon packs. So that was the funny thing.
That is funny. It's hilarious.
But anyways, going back to GatorLAN again, noticing at the 4 hour mark to the 5 hour mark, actually, you changed the scoreboard. So you updated it, right?
4 to 5 hour mark?
At the 5 hour mark, you changed the scoreboard.
Okay.
So you updated.
Yeah.
So what was the process of that? Yeah, what was the process of that?
You know what was the process of that?
What?
Was it mid-map that happened? I think I remember this. Like, I think the memories are flooding back. I don't know. I just thought it was too generic. I just wanted to look different. When I say I was gonna just do it on the fly, I wasn't joking. I was just like, well, I'd like this to change. Wait, I need to see, like, how does it change? Is it in that set, or is it like actually mid-map?
432 is when you get to see when the new scoreboard appears, and I think at 431 is when you had the map list ready like beforehand as well until the no, actually it was way earlier.
Oh yeah, I think it just stopped working. I must have done something to it, and we had a backup where it was just like, well, if it stops working, we could always just do it manually.
Wait, are you talking about the map list or the scoreboard?
There's a scoreboard, just scoreboard.
Oh, wait, so that's why at three.
That's
Okay,
what,
so
yeah, that's why
oh,
it looks different, a little silly for a second. Um,
oh,
I had backups in case my idea didn't work, and I could always just stream it the old-fashioned way because that's how we did it before. Uh,
hmm.
Actually, I don't think prior to this GatorLAN, I don't think I ever even made it to a GatorLAN in a reasonable time.
Oh,
Like I think the GatorLAN before this, I showed up like 15 minutes after. We were supposed to start. Thankfully, they were delayed, so I was technically on time.
oh yeah,
Well, not on time to set up a stream, but definitely on time to set up a stream because the stream quality and expectations back then were zero. And
yeah,
then I was like, "Oh, land championship series? Oh crap!
yeah. Now
I
it's getting a
actually
little
have
bit
to
high.
try now, huh?"
Yeah, because another thing as well, like at the 3 hour 37 mark, that's when the scoreboard changed. Because
Mhm.
now you made it back to the box. Like, was that manual or was that the
Okay,
code?
that is the code. So basically, um, you said around the 3 hour mark. I remember.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so basically, like I said, in between sets of like spectating, whenever we got I had downtime at least.
Mm.
Um, we were using like parts of the situation. I remember at the very beginning it was like, I don't think this thing's gonna work. And one big reason as to why it wasn't working is for context for anyone who's listening. The other night I was helping Jorian set up something also Node CG related. And you
The
remember that
SSG.
error?
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
was on a new computer and it didn't have Python, it didn't have um I think like C++ stuff
It was
from like Visual
yeah,
Studio.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was the beat the suitables for
Yeah.
versus code. Yeah, that
Yes.
error.
Eh, yeah, it didn't have that. So I was like, it's cooked, it's over. I don't know what to do. So I did what I knew best. You know what I mean? Just
Hmm.
doing it the old fashioned way. And then like in between sets, I was actually able to like get all that installed and it actually started working. So once it started working, then we were like, we're so back. We're here. We could actually do stuff with it. And then once it actually was like able to get back on here, a lot of it was just tweaking small stuff here and there in terms of like, well, I think the font should be bigger here, or oh, this font's messed up too, I don't know why, kind of thing. And like I'm looking at it right now, there's like, for example, like I think the ats got like mixed up with with
Yeah,
the with the pronouns. So
yeah.
stuff happened, and by the end of it, it was stable. So yeah, I mean, you like I said, you kind of go on a journey with me and kind of figuring out what works best. Um,
Also,
and
filthy acts at a reasonable price. Yeah, you can see at 435 that fucked up the overlay so bad in the
it
map screen.
did. It did. And that's why I was panicking at that point. I remember panicking at that point because I was like, oh no, it's like overlapping. It's not like properly doing it. Because everyone else had like a decently smaller like pickup name or honestly a school name. Because like GatorLAN is the unannounced like CCA LAN,
Hmm.
honestly. Um there is a picture and you could find it somewhere in CCA where it's just like there's solidly like at least 50 people associated with like CCA at that event.
Hmm.
If anything, I would probably say there's more people with CCA related individuals at GatorLAN than there is at like Riptide when they do their collegiate like thing there. Maybe I'm just lying. I could
I
just be lying,
I
but
think I think you might be tied. Honestly, it might be tied because I
yeah.
remembered how many again how many teams were there for CCA?
CCA. Okay, some of them were CCA teams and some of them were pickups. So like
Yeah.
I know Night Sharks from UCF because I would go to UCF,
Mhm.
or I'm graduating from UCF actually this weekend.
Nice.
As of this recording, so I'm good. I'm hanging up the cape, but
Yeah. Hanging up the
um
cape.
yeah. But yeah, I know the Night Sharks went, the Aeronautics went, and then I think there was a pickup between some of our third team players. Oh my gosh, this team name did like mess up all over the overlay. Like every part of it broke. I think towards the end I managed to like fix it reasonably. So we wouldn't do that. I know USF Gold and I think Green were there too. Death Roll was possibly there, if not a Death Roll pickup. Was there. I even know some of my little Henlo is going to be playing on that UF team. So if UF didn't take it this year in CCA, just watch out next year. I'm just saying.
Damn.
There's so much talent in Florida. There needs to be a Florida super server. Honestly, I've been trying to tell the collegiate guys, like, come on, just I don't know, do something, get into a closet or something, and just grind out, like, and just be just blades that sharpen each other, you know, and just like absolutely take over Div 1 CCA.
Oh, but you know, here's the thing. Well, two things. Get into a closet. Ayo, get into a closet. Hey, hold up a second.
You know.
Yeah. But you know, but the Div 1 though. Funny thing about that is for CCA seating. Sorry. They won't allow that, funny enough, because knowing from the CCA team who was North Carolina, if I remember correctly, who has like a Div 2, Div 1 player, they worry more about the seeding with the actual CCA folks instead of actual like Ludi seeding. So actually, like, if for the chance of like UF, because you're saying that if My Little Henlo's team is playing, they might be like stacked in Div 2, honestly.
Yeah.
That's if they do the circuit again though, because if they do like actually seeding, they might actually put My Little Henlo's team into Div 1. But that's like,
I mean, UF is already in Div 1. There's already so much talent on that team.
Oh, they are?
And are they? No. Yeah, because they were in Div 1 like grand finals, right? The
were they? Oh yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's all. Yeah,
yeah,
they
lost to Penn State.
Yeah, they lost to Vapor.
Yeah, Vapor. I couldn't hear the end of it from him after that. I'm glad they won LCS though. I said I needed my Florida win for the day.
Oh yeah,
and we got it, so I was happy about that. I mean, I'll take second and first. It's better than neither.
Oh no, that is true. Yeah, because PSU doesn't even have a LAN. That's the funny thing as well. So
yeah, exactly.
They get one thing, but Florida gets everything. That's the main thing at the end. So that's crazy.
Well, actually, I think they just had like a school-based LAN, so good for them.
Yeah, it's good for them, but yeah, good for them for a school-based LAN. But as an actual LAN, like for LCS, where's the action, huh? Yeah,
exactly. Where's your thing?
Yeah, fighting worse.
I will say, out of all the LANs that were featured, it was definitely the most held together by duct tape and what's the term or phrase? Duct tape and
glue or something.
Glue and duct tape or something like that. I mean that from every aspect of it. Not just me being a silly trying something out for the first time and using GatorLAN as kind of like a testing ground for myself, but like genuinely, like, you know, we work with what we can get, and we've honestly gotten like so much, and we've gotten way better at working with like what little we do have. And obviously I should say like more, you know, shout outs to especially Weef for getting everything together, but also there's a lot of people that I neglect to mention just because I forget off the top of my head, because they were such big helps for everything. But you know, we've definitely gotten better. So much equipment gets volunteered. I know we don't have fancy cameras like this other stuff, but it's such a vibe, especially like giving more of like an old school LAN kind of vibe where it really is just like a bunch of people working together. I mean, I'm sure the other ones feel that way too. I mean, one of them's run out of a library, right? That's awesome.
The funny thing is, for Trash Trolls, if I remember correctly, I think they use webcams as well. So so your LAN and Trash Trolls are actually running off webcams, and also I think Twin Squiddles as well. They run off webcams as well. So like for you guys, like you guys are the more grassroots, down to earth LANs. Well, for everyone else, like, but mostly I could say for Big Dapple, they're the top quality because Gen Game wants it. Everyone else is ones by volunteers, and ones that off their own commit as well. So yeah, that's the big difference of scaling. Is like the bottom core is basically you can do anything, and that's you guys with Trash Souls basically. Well, mostly you. I get it, you can do anything because you're making overlay stuff. But for Trash Souls, they already have it from Yoshi, who does no CG as well. So yeah, that's you guys having it off over there, and then on the west or like the southwest, that kind of area, because Arizona, Seattle, and then for Booyah Bay, Booyah Bay, that part too. We all use Sheets.io because that was implemented, and me and Ellie actually, well, Ellie does the overlays for Sea Battle. I helped out with Booyah Bay and for Arizona and SoCal. Soon enough, as of this recording, Jojo never got to me about needing help with the overlay yet, so I need to contact them soon enough too. But yeah, no, literally on that sense, like in the sense of how production works, like with what program you use, like you guys are more diverse in software engineering, let's say that. Well, for us, we're just classic little goobers who use Sheets.io. He's still under Paco's name.
I mean, don't discredit it though. I will say that, like, honestly, like watching like a few of those between, I know this wasn't a part of it, but like Battle of BC and Sunset Surge and a few of the other ones, I honestly saw like so much like genuine creativity in terms of like stuff that like I didn't even think of that like probably exist in like other games is like overlays. I was like, dang, I wish I implemented something like that. Obviously, I'm working with scraps, like I said. I made it as bare bones as possible, and I was working on it as it was happening. So yeah, I obviously couldn't implement all the cool stuff that you guys did, but I think definitely working with like a simpler system allows you guys to get like way more creative with stuff. Like I remember specifically like Sunset Surge, the way there was like map previews for the map that y'all were about to like load into. That was awesome. That was amazing. I've never seen like another tournament do that. And if there is, maybe I just don't watch enough tournaments, but that's just like an amazing overlay, and it's like I need to see that more.
The funny thing about that is Pepe was the one who started the idea.
Yeah, Pepe did a good.
But before that, Ellie actually started the idea out before. But I think it was at the start, Pepe and Ellie started at the same time, because for one of the charity events for SPFK, Ellie actually had that set up as well. Well, I think it was for FTIU. That Ellie actually had a map preview with the GIFs. Or no, it was junior draft. That Ellie had a GIF to load, and then it loads into the game. So I think the baseline was Ellie and Pepe to start that, but because of all the technical behind the scenes stuff they need to do, no one is actually really able to do that, and everyone wants to be simplistic. So
yeah, that makes sense. I will say though, like, somebody's got to start putting respect on those two's names, especially when it comes to just making like broadcast graphics, or specifically Ellie. Every time she drops something, especially on like Blue Sky or Twitter, it's like my jaw is on the floor because it's always something new that I didn't think of. And it's like, yeah, she's definitely she's innovating. I love it. Just like any stream I see that I know like she has had her hands on, she's actually like coming up with ideas that no one else is thinking of. And I know like some of them are more intensive, like you were saying, but like I think we need to see more of it. I think we need some graphic overhauls for a lot of them, because I know it's doable for a lot of these other ones, especially stuff like with Node CG implementation. But sometimes we get so stuck in the weeds of like the technical stuff that you don't see in the background that like we forget about like that just raw, genuine like creativity on like kind of changing the way you watch stuff,
like Ellie, she's a busy gal, like that's the main thing. So like she literally was working on like recently, as of this recording, was for the league for the league collegiate in Asia. Like she's wanting to stream for that. Like that's like something that's in her control right now. Like in first Splatoon, like it's kind of like a second base right now, because all the ways we have right now is basically like all no CG or just the ones that we used before, and anything that we need to like change, it's basically that we need to make ourselves. Like it's like if you're watching like recent streams as well, like the Golden Trident, that was from Ellie. that was newly made
Yeah, I
with
remember seeing
Pinky.
that.
Yeah. And then there's other events as well that people do. Like what I helped with the GatorLAN and the Metro Ink silver packet. I made that, funny enough too. So it's basically like without programming, well, depending on who it is, because like you do programming, CKK. It's that's the freedom bit. Is depending on if you know how to code and if you have allowance to do it, you can actually just mess around and actually change things to make it look really well. Or if you use Chisario, you have more freedom if they allow you to do it, because if there's overlays that is like for like an actual organization, you just find that you don't fuck around with it. But if it's out land, you're allowed to fuck around with it. You're allowed to have fun. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. But
yeah, exactly.
but in the codings, but in a sense though, like with the overlays we have right now for graphic overhaul, which one needs to be graphic overhauled, in your opinion?
Like in the scene or like
In the scene, yeah, no, in the scene, which tournaments need to be
gosh,
graphic overhauled?
we're doing call outs now.
We're doing callouts now, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, in my opinion, it's not so much that like there's a specific tournament that needs to like up their game. Although I will say anything from like Under Pressure is like just like I said, it's Ellie's touch, so it's just like very innovative in like really cool ways. Maybe not the most practical ways, but cool ways. But I'd like to see like just more information on the screens at times. I think that's what like a lot of it's lacking, and I don't think it's unique to any one, tournament, any one overlay or anything. I just feel like there's way more that we could find. We could find a lot of cool, interesting stuff that we could put onto the screens. I know for a lot of it, it might be a lot more work, for example, or like a lot more integration, or maybe we'll need more stats to actually get that kind of stuff on there. But to me, I feel like a lot of it is just like there's a lot of missed opportunity, a lot of empty space on a lot of like overlays that could be used for like some basic stuff. And a lot of it is like inspiration from other games. They may not have like the same systems and everything, but I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for it, because I feel like Splatoon, all things considered, especially from like the spectator point of view, there isn't a lot of like screen space that you need to worry about in terms of like the UI getting in the way. I feel like there's so much space on the screen that you can really mess around with, that like we have like a lot of room to add more information on them. So I think there's a lot more opportunities. Like one thing, just as an example, I think one thing is like I really like when, and again, this might be harder to implement because it depends on a lot of factors, possibly even like Sendo API stuff. Now that almost every tournament's on Sendo, right?
Oh yeah.
For example, like knowing what's the next map after the current one, and I think of like, for example, like Valorant, like CS, where you're watching a current map and you see like, for example, who picked this map, or like who won the last one, or what was the last map, or what's the next map, like after this, what's the next map, kind of stuff.
So in the map screen, basically just being a dynamic map screen instead of being a static map screen. That's what you mean, right?
Or no, I mean while the game is playing, like while the game is playing, like just somewhere in a corner, just saying like the next map is this, although Splatoon map names are kind of long, but
there's a caveat though there as well, fair enough, because what if it's counterpicked?
Yeah, if it's counterpicked, then yeah, that's different, for sure. But I like most weeklies are either map list or like they're what's like the Sendo system where you pick a few maps and then
I think it's called
the
picnic.
matchmaking.
Is that what it's called? Picnic? I think it's called picnic system. Yeah, I think it's called picnic.
Cute.
Yeah, but like that's a thing though, because the picnic system it loads when the match starts, so you don't know anything until the match starts. And funny enough, if we can talk about into the Dapple overlay as well, funny enough, comparing to the IPL one with the IPL overlay controls, in the IPL one you can, and also with Ellie's Shitsai IO recent one with Nate on how you can grab the match feed. for the IPL and CCIO that Ali and Nate did with the Ambassador Budget Crew, you can grab the match stuff from there, from the match itself, while comparing to Dapple before the quarter left. Yeah, there's just history there. Before quarter left, we were able to grab only the teams. We weren't able to grab like any matches. We were grabbing that all ourselves from the thing. Yeah. So yeah, that's like, that would be a good implementation actually, to be able to see like what's next, who picked the map. That honestly is a really good thing to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, like really, because in compared to Osu overlays as well, with Osu Laser, we in that overlay you get to see what team picked the map by the color border. Like, if seeing like that, honestly, that's good. But honestly, that shouldn't be for weekly. That should be for major. Like, that should be like for one-off events, not for like a weekly, because it will get stale for a long time if that happens, honestly. So
okay, I see what you mean. So the weeklies have to be boring, so you can make the majors be like, wow, look at all this cool stuff.
Yes, like SAC should have that, honestly, as well. Like, anything that's a one-off event should have those cool things. Well, for a weekly, just have it bare bones, because it's a weekly. You're gonna come back like every week. Like, what's the point of having stuff to add unless you're just testing? Like, if you're testing, sure, do it like that. But if you're just going to have it back every week, it just gets stale, and everyone's gonna get used to it. Like, funny enough, for the like the replay system, like for weekly for Dapple, like there's a replay system every week. Like, now, like, it's a common thing to think about. Like, that's gonna happen. There has to be a replay system in every stream. If they're not, doesn't make the stream lower quality, or doesn't make it seem like lazy. But if it's a LAN, but not LAN, if it's a weekly, it's fine if you just don't do replays, because it's a weekly. But it'd be nice to see, but it's just a weekly. It's gonna come back everything on time, and the streamer itself, like, it might be too much for them, so they might just be tired out of the brains if they keep doing it. So on one-off events, or like in circuits, that's fine to do, because it gets more to the general audience who doesn't show up every single time. This is a rare event. Well, rare quote-unquote events, because they like come up seasonally, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think that's the case. You made me want to like go on a tangent about like replays. I have to say it here. I'm sorry.
Do it.
My biggest personal pet peeve: if it's a post-match highlights, why is it called an instant replay? It's not instant.
Oh, Dapple call out. Dapple call out.
No, it's not just Dapple that does it. I've seen it everywhere. It's not just Dapple.
Wait.
I've seen it other places, like non-Splatoon places, do the same thing.
Oh, and
it drives me mad. It's like, you be like post-map highlights, like.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Splatoon is too fast-paced for like an instant replay, like genuinely.
Well,
and I think, yeah.
Well, for an instant replay, like, if you want to actually be instant, there is a thing called there is a plugin on OBS, or not OBS, for Stream Deck, that happens to be on OBS, that you can do a replay buffer, and it shows on the screen when you do the replay buffer on your Stream Deck. That is a plugin they could do, and that's an instant replay. But yeah, no, you're right. It should be called post-match highlights for sure. But in that case too, do you show at the end? Or at the end of the match, or do you show it after each match itself? Like, after the set ends, or after the match ends itself? Like, which one do you
I think ideally you should do both. I think ideally you should do both. Well, that also depends, like, how fast are the teams, like, going through it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I only recently realized that the spectator could actually, like, cancel the ready button.
Oh, you just noticed?
Yes, I actually just noticed. I thought if I pressed it all the way, I would cancel the entire lobby. So I'm like, I'm not touching it with like a 10-foot pole. And then I got curious.
How long have you been streaming for?
No way.
Wait, how long have you been streaming for?
Gosh, probably like a year now.
yeah. And you just okay? Did you play comp beforehand or no?
No, I've never played competitive Splatoon. I mean, I've been around the community, but I've never played it competitively.
Did you play PBs beforehand in Splatoon 3?
I loved getting with like a small group of like people, like friends, actually, and we would get into private battles. But that was like in Splatoon 1.
Oh wait, Splatoon. Oh, so you fully skipped Splatoon 2. Wait, wait,
You
so
know, actually,
you fully skipped Splatoon 2?
No, I played Splatoon 2, but I didn't play it like private battles or anything. I didn't stream it or
Oh.
anything. So like Splatoon 3 is like me trying to get back into like more of it because I was more involved back in Splatoon 1.
Mhm.
Fun fact, actually, I met Ren in a stream and like
Wait,
like
when the pencil player?
no, Ren the extract retired.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I met him and we became friends. And I remember being in a Discord. We're in like a private Discord from that stream. But I remember when he was like B- in Splatoon 1. It was so funny thinking about it now because like, what the hell do you mean? Like, you're one of the best coaches ever seen. Like, what the hell? You're supposed to be that guy that was B- when we played private battles together. What do you mean? Get out of here, dude.
Honestly,
I
no.
actually didn't believe him.
Honestly, no, I get it because I remember Haya back in S2 days when they were Splatuber, and then when they changed into comp in S3, like they just raised the range like so high. Like I still remember you were Splatuber, and I'm going to joke about that every single time with you still, no matter what.
Exactly. It's funny. It's so funny. He was hard stuck B- too. That's so funny.
Wait, hard stuck B what? That is clear. What?
I
Oh,
remember when he made it. Hey, that was a moment.
wait, did they pop off? Like, did they like really pop off?
I wasn't there with him, but I remember him talking about it. It was funny.
Oh my god, that is actually funny to figure it out. But
So to me, it's like if he can do it, anybody can do it. Get good today. To be honest.
Oh yeah, no, for me. So yeah, what rank are you on? What rank are you on Splatoon?
Me personally, oh gosh, in terms of like in S1, I think I only made it to like S, and then in S2, I like hovered like S+3 on like all ranks, like all 4 of them. I think my lowest was probably Clan Blitz because I was like, I don't get this and sucks in solo queue.
You make that.
And then in S3, I made it to like S+0, I think. I don't even remember. And I was like, okay, I made it to S+0. I don't right.
Honestly, when was the last time you
not
actually touched the game?
Probably a few weeks ago, I played some Turf Wars.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
it's funny.
it is
Yeah.
really funny. Yeah, so what you said, like you said about yourself, about from back then to rank yourself up, to rank up.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, you have to do that now, buddy. You have to rank up.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I guess.
Like,
Oh
so-
my gosh. I've never touched competitive Splatoon actually. Like,
you never
I feel so
did?
weird being like one of the few people in like the community that has just never touched a tournament at all. Like, I've never participated as like a competitor.
Wait, did Ren ever touch a tournament?
I mean, of course he did. Well, not at the time. I think towards like the end of S1, like early S2, he was getting into it.
Wait, so Super Ren played in a tournament before. Did Justin ever play in a tournament before?
Justin?
Pipe Dream.
Pipe Dream? I have no clue. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Oh my god, it's just like me for real.
Yeah, I think you and Pipe Dream are the two people who's in the production sphere who never played in a tournament before.
We do it for the love of the game. It's for the love of the game.
For the love of the game. No. In the truth, I think we have to do a pickup now for production people. That is the truth. We have to do a production pickup. There's not gonna be an SOS stream. There's not gonna be an SOS stream because the production people are doing a pickup.
there's no stream today, guys. We're all playing in the tournament today.
No,
we just stream our POV.
That is the most funniest but the most greatest thing to do, actually. No, for real. But in the truth, Ali might be shooting it in the envelope.
That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious, but honestly, that's a smart idea to do. Honestly, we should do that.
so sad April 1st has already passed. That would have
Oh,
been so funny.
that would have been so funny. We got him next year. Well, you know what?
Yeah, okay,
Summer.
we got him next year.
You know what? We're doing the summer.
Exactly.
We're doing the
I'll
summer.
do it in the summer. Oh my gosh, that'll be actually my first time. I don't even have like a weapon that I like play.
What?
You're just gonna have to throw me on something like Baby Easy.
Oh my.
I'll play like Slosher, even though that technically takes skill. But
Wow.
I remember when Sloshers first came out, I was like, "Yo, that is such a cool weapon idea. I'm gonna main it." So I'm glad it's kind of good.
Oh, good by V Slosh and Slosh and Machine. Yeah, those are the okay ones. They're decent.
Yeah.
So yeah. So okay. So we did. So we got that. That was a tangent. we
I'm
went.
sorry.
No. You don't need to be sorry. This is the Chillcast. You don't need to give a shit. This is just.
Okay.
We're talking about your history right now that no one gets to know. So now that we got that history out of the way, we can go all the way back to production. Like, you started production a year ago. This was basically a big project. What else did you want to add for GatorLAN? Like, for next time, what else do you want to add?
Oh, if I could do it for next time, I should probably start thinking about that. I have time. I have time. The next one's probably around like September-ish. If I were,
remember Tide?
oh shoot, yeah. Well, maybe no. It's normally in October. I'm tripping. It's like early October.
Okay,
Sorry.
you're good. Okay, you're done. Yeah, you're good.
I have even more time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, what do you think about adding?
honestly, if I were, my first thing is like I kind of like I said, since I copied like a lot of the homework of like SOS with like a reskin basically. A lot of it is very like, the best way to put it is online formatted. You know what I mean? Like there isn't a lot of like I've seen other like in-person overlays where, you know, a lot of the face cam, a lot of the webcam aspects are integrated with the map scene as opposed to swapping back and forth. So I think that's what I would want to do like next time, so that way, you know, it kind of just shows up on the screen alongside it. That would be like my biggest thing that I'd want to change. Something that I'd like to try, but it'd probably be a little hard because I know we always host it on start.gg, is actually implementing some sort of like bracket view. I think a lot more streams should have bracket views. I think it's just super useful, especially if you're not gonna like stream every set. You need like a bracket view, in my opinion.
Yeah. With that, I think for the IPL dashboard, if I remember correctly, there is a bracket scene that JPEG did make a long time ago, and Inky made as well a long time ago, that I think you could use. Yeah, if you look into the GitHub for Inky or IPL, I think there is
which overlay had it is the real question.
I think it was a global one. Like, I think it was in the RPL fork in general.
Okay.
So, but if I remember, they used it for low ink, they used it for super jump, and they used it for SOS. So
okay, so the overlays I did not copy the homework of.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I think SSC maybe did.
I'll try to do it from scratch until I give up and say this is too hard, because I don't want to steal the work of what other people have done. Just because it's also a learning experience for me. Because like I graduated with like a general studies degree, but like I minored in computer science, so it's a little bit of like a challenge for me in a way, where it's like I want to actually like not just copy it and then just try to like overlay it. I did actually try to like make it from scratch. Obviously just a lot of the design principles and like the overall like grander ideas around it were definitely stolen. I'm not gonna deny that, but it was supposed to be kind of like being on rails, and now that like I kind of understand what I'm doing better, and especially, you know, with a lot of the resources that JPEG, you know, provided with like, you know, how he does like his stuff specifically and what like other resources he uses, maybe I'll just, you know, kind of use that.
Yeah.
Although I'd hate to learn another framework, but whatever. I'd probably still use the IPL dashboard until I feel like it limits me. After a certain point, it would just be better to make my own dashboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely would want to make something that's like kind of unique to to me and like differentiate it. It was definitely more so of like a proof of concept. I do feel bad there was a little copycat, especially with how like creatively awesome everyone else got with their stuff. So I'll definitely try to add something unique. That's my ultimate goal. Even if it looks exactly like last time, I want to add at least one thing unique, and if it is, then I'll feel accomplished about it.
Well, the thing is, like, I can say right now for GatorLAN, you need an artist because but the main thing, like, for all the other lands, they had an artist to do like to do stuff for it, like to make some kind of overlay for it, because that's the main difference. Like, so all you really need to make it to be different and not be like a smash major, just get an artist and get something with the overlay, because again,
True.
going to the end of GatorLAN when you got the overlay basically all set up, the only thing that's like the vibe is the orange and black gradient for the lower third. Well, for like the everything part that people say as the information screen. But the difference is like it is generic, but as you said, it's last second thing, but that seems like a smash major lower third, not something like Splatoon would have.
Yeah,
because you need to be more like you need to add more graphic design to it. Like basically, like if you added like a random B kit to it, fine enough, that would have been good enough. Like yeah, you just need to add something else to not make it look like a generic tournament or a generic NFL stream, basically. But you can do, but because you said it was a base, this is a baseline for you, so yeah. Honestly,
yeah, exactly.
And honestly,
also, do you have the second part of that stream saved anywhere, or is it saved anywhere? Because I looked into it, and like what did happen halfway through the stream is we were waiting a while for the next set to happen. I think there were some technical difficulties, so I was gonna like be silly and like play the Wordle of the day on stream. And then something happened and the entire stream crashed, and then we had to go back online. Which I think was very funny. I don't know if the second half, the actual grand finals. Oh, there it is.
It is there. Yeah. Okay. So that was you doing the Wordle.
That was me doing the Wordle. It was very funny.
It's really funny because you were not the first one to have the idea, because
it's funny
because Pig Pickles, funny enough, for GatorLAN, they like their setup for a LAN over there in NorCal, if I'm thinking correctly, or like somewhere in the SoCal area, was really grassroots. Was basically like how they did the scoreboard and stuff like that. MS Paint, like they had the backup from MS Paint. That was really good. That's really goofy.
I actually love that.
that shows like how grassroots you could be, but a good start of where you could be.
Yeah, exactly. I am looking at it now towards the end, and it's like, yeah, it really is like compared to the beginning of the stream.
It's
like,
you got
the fonts and everything.
You locked in, like you got it back. You locked in, but now that you have everything set up, like you know where you want to go from here now for that kind of thing. But before, we talked about all the coffee stuff. We didn't really talk about the venue real quick. So usually for like the podcast and stuff, for podcasts, for like the podcast, and for like Cactus's podcast as well, and maybe I think for Noctis podcast as well, they only like last for an hour. We're allowed to go OT, honestly, because this is our thing. So venue. I'm here for the vibes. Yeah, so venue wise, real quick. What was the venue like?
So we've never had like a consistent venue. I remember the first one I attended, which I think is also the first one that like was kind of like revitalizing it at GatorLAN. It was just like a side classroom, because like I don't know if you're familiar with like the Ritz. I don't know how it's said. I'm sorry, so I apologize to all like Florida UF alumni and current students. But the Ritz Union, I think it's like Ritz, like the cracker.
Wow. Good thing we're not streaming this on Twitch.
no, like but yeah, it's just like a massive student union. at like a college, but it's massive. So like they have multiple floors. It's a hotel. There's a bowling alley at the bottom. Like it's like
Oh.
cracked. It's cracked. Like I don't know. Like I think GatorLAN genuinely is an experience for like more than just um GatorLAN is experience just because going into the Ritz Union is like crazy.
But
It's a beauty.
funny enough, I talk about that kind of area, like the bowling alley. For Sea Battle, it was actually the same thing. We did it at the Wolf's Hub, and that had and the hub was basically just like you said, the Westland had a bowling alley, a big area for like the gaming sphere.
So cool.
Like where we actually did our stream, there was there was a small part for an esports center, and then right next to that outside it was a freaking pool. It was a pool lounge. Like,
Oh wait, that's so
like
sick.
they literally people were able to play pool there. Like that's crazy. But
That's awesome.
honestly, like, but that's a great thing too. Like for the LAN championships, everyone pulled in the stocks to go and basically make things look better. Like for Sea Battle again, before at GameWorks there was a small location. Now with a bigger location, they were able to like be everywhere, do a lot of stuff, be able to like chill out. But they like the TOs, they were running around a lot. But for us, like, and for the players as well and spectators, we had a lot of space to just chill out and actually do stuff compared to GameWorks. And
that's awesome.
and for Sunset Search as well, they were at a old building that actually closed down. But it was a really small area. But now that since they moved to ASU, they have a lot more space. I don't like the lighting though because it's color lighting, not like lamp color. But yeah,
it's cool in person, but then you look at it like any picture and it's like, oh
yeah. But honestly,
wow,
at the same time too, because of color gradients as well. Like if you have like some kind of like color sensitivity or like some kind of like seizure sensitivity, that is kind of an issue. And also if you're running off like 3 hours of sleep, you're kind of dead there, buddy. But like for the LCS, like so GatorLAN, you don't. So this is the biggest venue that you ever played in, right? I'm guessing.
Well, I didn't play in it, but
Oh, they streamed in.
Yes, it is the biggest event that I've streamed in. I think the biggest Splatoon event I've been to, period, was LTC last year.
Wait, you were LTC last year?
Yeah, I was only there for Sunday.
Oh,
and I was there for like a max of like 3 hours, but it was super hype, and I loved seeing people, but not saying hi to anybody because nobody knows who I was. So.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck? dude, what the fuck? We could have done a production meetup. What the fuck? Like, I feel I could have done a production meetup there. Damn, that sucks.
I was new though. I was the new guy. You know. So I hadn't done I hadn't done too much yet.
But you just chill like that.
I think like the only thing I had done were like neon whales at the time. So
makes sense. But hey, now that you're here, what other lands are you thinking about going to, if you can?
Oh, what other lands? I'm kind of like a GatorLAN native just because it's like my like nearest, and I could drive there. I need more stuff that I could drive to. Honestly, I know like Riptide's is super far. And I'll think about it just because it's like it's one of those cases where it's like I need to save up money because right now I am working at a DreamHack Dallas.
Oh
yeah. So I need to. I just I bought some tickets for some friends this past for them, so I'm gonna be going. Well, they're gonna show up, have a good time, and see me work because they're housing me for the weekend, so it's the best way I can make it up to them. But yeah, I'm gonna be working the event. I'm not gonna say what department, but you know, if you are interested, you can say hi to me. But
so you're not with production, huh?
It is production related.
It is
what I'll say.
Oh,
it's not any of the competitive production ones, but it is production related. I'll tell you after, but
don't tell me it's logistics.
No, it's not.
Good.
Oh, that'd be cool. I think that I would enjoy that as well. But I'm gonna be working over there, so that's like one of the big ones that I'm gonna be going to in terms of like travel. So I'll have to see if I can find anything in the bank. I mean, now that I'm graduating, I have a job, so we'll see if I can save up some money.
Well, saying about logistics, so that means your numbers nerd then, huh?
Oh, logistics is numbers? No, never mind. I would not
Okay,
want to do that.
okay, good. Okay, good.
No, I said it was production related. So I
Yeah.
will be doing something with OBS
Okay.
and stuff and related.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Because logistics is kind of about production as well. Because if you're the one like basically doing like a like kind of stream mode, but not really stream mode. I forgot what it's named. It's been so long since I've ever like actually talked about it, but I think it's one of the producers. If you're one of those that you actually like have a, like to set up the whole schedule, the timer. If you're the one they put in the timers, if you're that kind of person, like that's hella stressful. So it's a good thing you're not on that. But if you're saying that your production right that you're working with OBS, I'm I'm thinking that I know what it is because you're a coder, so there's good hints there. But if you're going the way that I'm thinking you're going to be going to JPEG path if you continue that way. So that would be good for you actually.
I don't know if that will be the case, but like I said, I'll let you
Yeah.
I'll let you speculate. I'll let you know after.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
the people watching this is going to be speculating what it will be, and the people who will figure it out, who knows? Because who knows if it's actual game traction? We'll see.
if you end up there, it's like, where's Waldo? If you find me, I'll say hi. I'll be wearing a staff shirt. So.
well, remember, check the GatorLAN VOD if it ever exists anymore. But
True.
But here's the funny thing: it doesn't exist because wait, does GatorLAN actually upload the VODs? That's a good question, actually.
We have never actually I think the first one that is actually documented anywhere is on my hard drive from the one, not the last one, but the one before that.
Did you
Because
upload
I
it?
downloaded the vlog.
Did
I
you
didn't
upload
upload
it?
it anywhere.
Upload it, dude. This is one of the issues with the Splatoon community as well. Like ever since Jordanian came alive, like when or slash Marina, when she started to help with IPL and started to actually document, like save VODs and YouTube, like into YouTube for tournaments, like that's something that never happened in the 2020 era. Like from 2019 or 2018 to 2023, basically any VOD that you have for tournaments doesn't exist anymore because no one saved it. Like if it's like a major, like people did save it, but in LAN sunny, like some people don't even do that. But if they record, that's good. Like people are now starting to save VODs for tournaments just because people want to see them again, because there's a general like a discussion about saving VODs, like saving the history of Splatoon that no one really knows. Like the only thing that we know about is like from Chara or Kyo, or like from top level, or maybe from some low level, mid levels about like from VODs from back then. And if you want to you want to go to scene or stuff like that, like you need to upload VODs from back then. Like even Stormy had some VODs from back then too. Even I have VODs from back then too that I can still upload and try to live like for the scene, but I need to edit them. But if I don't want to edit them, I just upload them flat. And that would be a good thing because that's history from back then that no one really knows about. So in that case, like for you, upload the one for that GatorLAN, upload that somewhere. That would be good history for you and for Reef actually, and everyone in the scene for Florida to look back then and say like, oh hey, I remember when I did it, that was fun. And for this one, I'm gonna need to ask Falco about, oh hey, can I actually unlist this VOD so people can actually see the VOD?
Because I didn't save it.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, I kind of wish I could see it, so I'm kind of happy you guys saved it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, thank you, Falco, for that. But yeah, no, honestly, like, for since like talking about for saving VODs and the history and talk about that history, would you want to do that more? Like, what's your opinion about saving VODs for history for the Splatoon player?
I think it's super necessary. That's why I saved it on my computer. I just never thought to like upload it, just because it's like, I don't know why. I remember why. It's because
Why?
I wanted to make, and this probably goes into like a bigger thing actually. I wanted to make a highlights of it, like the highlights of the entire event of like the things that I wanted to, and as you could tell from me just now remembering why I kept it and never did anything with it, it wasn't like top of mind. I never actually committed to it. I never got around to doing it. But yeah, that's the reason why I didn't upload it. But I should probably just upload the VOD and eventually make like a highlights thing of it, or honestly just make a highlights of the newest GatorLAN, right? Because it's there.
Yeah.
Um,
Like that will grow you and learn for you as an editor, but at the same time for
Yeah.
production as well, because you'll learn how to do highlights, and that would be good as well. Like for if you do something in person at a LAN, you'll know how to do highlights. Like are you a League player? Yes or no? Basically, general question. Are you a League player? No, not a League player. A V player. Like, do you do replays?
Replayer? I don't do replays, but not because I don't know how to. It's because I have, and I don't think it's ever worth it unless you have a replay operator.
Again, so yeah, since if you do highlights like that, you'll know how to do replays more. Like you know the general feel of how to do replays, when's a good call to do that. So it would be good learning experience for you if you do the highlights. So yeah, go ahead and do that in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, but I've done it for like other games, because for a little bit more context of like my like kind of history with just like understanding like streaming, like because Splatoon wasn't the reason why I got into like just streaming and production and all that stuff. Like I mentioned before, I'm with UCF. I do a lot of stuff with UCF. I was actually the president for this past year for esports at UCF.
Oh wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, the president of esports at UCF was just a big Splatoon nerd in disguise. But obviously I played a lot of other games, and then I was also the content coordinator the year before that, and that's actually when I learned how to do a lot of streams and stuff. And we run like an intramural thing for our students for like different games. It's like Rocket League, Valorant, League of Legends, and Overwatch. So one big thing I wanted to do at the time is that it was me and the incoming president of esports at UCF, my right hand man, shout out Andres. Him and we just sat down and it's like, we need to figure out, we need to do a replay system on OBS, right? And because we thought it'd be cool, we see the other things do it, and that's where I learned a lot about like plugins and all that other stuff. And it was such a pain in the butt because we were also going all out in terms of like player cameras. We've set up player cameras at all the things, and we had to do that for the entire weekend. And we were doing live replays, we were doing player cams, we were doing everything as a 2-man show, and we were so exhausted. And just, it was awesome despite the technical issues and everything. It was scuffed, but we did it, and we felt like we understood more. And I've tried looking deeper into it, but there just isn't something that's akin to, I don't know how familiar you are with vMix.
I know the vMix. I worked around with vMix before. Yeah, because
vMix is perfect. It's a paid software for a reason.
Yeah, but you know how much that costs, right?
Yeah, $500. I would pay $500 for vMix if I wanted to do professional. Oh, is it a month? I thought you could pay it like outright.
I think its subscription is like $100 a month after you buy the actual vMix. Like you have to pay a subscription.
Oh, you still gotta pay the subscription after you buy the software?
I think so, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
All I remember is that there's like a 3-month like trial.
Oh. Well.
Yeah, so let's just say sometimes sailing the 7 seas is necessary, but I haven't done it because OBS is an amazing product, and I wouldn't think and dare. But I am a little sad that there are certain things like dynamic motion graphics with like paired up with stuff, paired up with stats, kind of like on a Google Sheet, because it does have native like support for that, which is actually crazy. Yeah, I forgot what it's called, but basically there is an option for you to like create graphics on Photoshop, animate the individual Photoshop elements, and including text, and then in the text you can link that text to something in an Excel sheet or a Google sheet, and like have dynamic like graphics. And you can even like, the same way you do with Sheets.io, how you like change the picture based off the name of the file, you could do the same thing in vMix. So you could have like really dynamic motion graphics that are as good as what you see done in Node CG, but like kind of doing it the Google Sheets way. And then not only that, they just have like an incredibly complex, awesome instant replay system, and just really good replay highlights and all of that. And after just seeing that kind of killed any and all motivation I had to like try to kind of BS replays on OBS, because I'm like, man, all that stuff is awesome, but like I don't have it,
Like,
and I can't really copy it. And it's like, it's doable, but as a one-man show, it's just so hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, I get it. Like, as a one-man show, definitely need to do all that with the VMix is definitely impossible. Like, you should have a three-man show for that. Definitely on LAN, you should have a three-man show for that. But for a solo man, like, doing the layout for replays, if you do one 30-second clip, or if you have like multiple clips with a stream deck, like, you have to have it. You have to have something with you to make it work, to make it possible. Like, if you're doing it alone with a keyboard and mouse, that is purely impossible. Like, you should not do that, because you'll be overstretching yourself. But if you have a stream deck with you, that's fine. Like, but if you want to go crazy, Clip Master. That's how that's how Inky actually does replay for low ink when that exists. Back then, I never watched a low ink stream like recently, but back then Inky did Inky did clips before like that, and used Clip Master to actually do replays. So, and actually had the fade and stuff. So that actually made it better. But for Jub, who does LSL, and I think it's slowly transitioning to be other people as well, with Jub actually teaching other people how to do it. They actually do everything manually with having if I remember correctly, they might be having some code online, but if I remember correctly, they have After Effects online at the same time of having the OBS at the same time too. Yeah, no, their computer must be crazy. Their computer must be crazy enough for that if they have that, because that kind of dynamic power is insane. Like, that's that's why everyone like actually says a lot about Jub because and Inky, because they are grassroots people who do these kind of things, while compared to us and kind of Ellie, real new. Like, Ellie started to do production stuff like in Crit Comp last year in 2023 when Overtime finished, or it started to dwindle down. So, and during the same time as me too, funny enough. So literally in that sense, like, real new, but we're starting to make an impact. Like, that's the thing that's different. So that's a good thing as well. We're starting to make an impact as well. So like, Pipe Dream technically started to make an impact as well. Swin, I think did like Win's in and out, but like you're starting to make an impact because you did now CCA, and now you have a Dapple as well over here too. When before it was Brownie, like, it was literally only Brownie before, and also someone else I forgot, but Majora, but they left, and now it's us and Sam Pro us, and kind of great, but not really. But mainly it's like, it's me, you, and kind of Sama, but I think Sama is like busy, so Sama doesn't really do anything anymore. Yeah, it's unfortunate because Sama was pretty good. But now it's us. two NA people helping stream or running or holding the back of an EU organization. What is this? Like, what is this, man?
Funny.
What is this? We're overpaid. We're overdoing ourselves. We need to get paid.
I'm actually shifting my work schedule this week just so I can like stream Triton.
Damn. Okay. Well, again, as of this recording, today is now May 1st. By the way, you are Eastern time, right?
I have Eastern time. Yes.
Yeah. It is now May 1st. We started recording an hour and 18 minutes ago on April 30th. So happy May, by the way. Yeah, May 2nd. Yeah. May 2nd is trying. May 2nd is trying to come.
Yes.
May 2nd trying to come, and we'll know the results of that in like 24, 40, in like under 24 hours, I guess.
Over 24 hours.
Over 24 hours. But yeah.
So, about 48 hours.
Yeah, like, honestly though, like, needing your opinion on this, because you stream basically bi-weekly at this point because you're basically mostly only doing Trident.
Mhm.
If you were
Mhm.
to stream weekly, like how Pipe Dream or I do it, would you consider, so like, or no, should weeklies have a stream every single week? Like the weeklies who once every week, yes or no?
Should they have a stream?
Should they
I
have a
don't know.
stream
That's a good question.
every single week as a streamer in your POV?
Um, that's a hard question. I mean, I think it's fine to have a stream every week, although I definitely understand why it could be hard because, like, for example, like even smaller tournaments, like I think like Squid Jump had like this past week,
To
just like
injection?
Squid Junction. Sorry, they're both SJ, but yeah, Squid Junction happened this past week, and they only had like 4 teams, but I was still there for like 3 hours.
Because you streamed every match, right?
Yeah, essentially, besides like loser semis, I
Yeah.
think. So it and then like one winner semis match. So it's like it wasn't even like that's normal though, you know? Like normally when you do stream, like you're gonna stream one winner semis, winners finals, losers finals. Sometimes you get loser semis if they're
Yeah.
willing to wait for you, and then like grand. And then I think that one went to a reset. So yeah, I was there for even longer.
Yeah, so it makes sense why
But
3 hours.
exactly. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it I don't know if it's just like a format thing or what the case is. I think like from a scene perspective, the stream should happen kind of like what you were saying about like having a history of it. Although some could argue that like the weekly in the grand scheme of things isn't all that important. I don't know how much like seating councils. I mean, if we're talking Ludi, obviously they're not going into like the replays of these games and looking
Yeah.
at, you know, their gameplay, for example. But
Yeah.
for some of them, like especially open level tournaments where you can get high level talent, like I would want to have like a Triton every weekend. I would want to see it because there's top level EU talent that show up for the zones only thing. Like I would say there's like at least consistently like top 15 EU exclusive teams, not just teams with EU players, but like EU exclusive teams that show up. And you know, it's a blast. It's probably the highest level competition that I stream, honestly, when it comes to Triton Cups. So it's like, you know, that is something that like I think is something you would want to see and any other open level events. But I could definitely see an argument for it for like lower level or even like just divs capped like weekly events where it's like, oh, you know, like should all of these get streamed? But like honestly, I feel like a lot of lower level players and mid level players value the stream. I don't know though, because again, I don't have really that like that player perspective. But I feel like if anyone's gonna value it, it's probably gonna be those level of players. There's like they're gonna appreciate being on stream. They're gonna tell their friends like, oh look, you know, I'm on stream. Go check this out.
But here's the thing is though, CKK, you're talking about the spectators POV or the players POV. What about your POV? As you the streamer, would you want it to be weekly, knowing that you have to be here like for 4 hours every single week? Would you want to do that? Would you want that, or would you want it to be bi-weekly like you already have it right now?
Oh, kind of like bi-weekly. Okay.
Like do you yourself, should there be a stream every week for weekly? Yes or no? Or should it be like how Trident or Squid Justin does it, like make it bi-weekly? Like should it be a stream every other week?
I like the Dapple schedule, especially it being bi-weekly, aside from what's their Wednesday one? The one that we did today.
Paddling pool. Like
Pool.
so yeah. So you're saying that streaming or weeklies should be every other week instead of every week. Yes or no?
I feel like if they happen, they should be streamed. And that one's more of like a general question, not just for streamers, but like for staff in general. Like, should there be events that happen weekly? You know, like
that's
as a concept,
true.
you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, actually, honestly, like because honestly, since you set up a Swing Junction as well, with Swing Junction having the numbers at 4, like this is like the lowest I think it's been for a while, because like, ever since you and Sama came in, like I stopped streaming Swing Junction because I've been busy to actually work in real life on Saturdays now. So with which I'm trying to get back into again as well. But with Swing Junction being so low in numbers now, does Swing Junction might be ending soon, honestly. Like we're not confirming here on this because we don't know. This is all on a Q, because Q
I just stream things. I don't handle the brackets. I just show up in the chat and I say I'm streaming. Don't start the match without me, please.
No, 100%. Yeah,
we do not make those decisions.
Yeah,
but yeah, I completely understand like where you're coming from. Yeah, definitely. It would not surprise me if there is like an upper level executive decision, because ever since I started streaming it, maybe I'm a bad luck charm, but I definitely noticed that like the turnouts have definitely been shorter, and then I mean, I think Dapple runs their tournaments like TO wise pretty lax and chill.
Yeah.
In comparison to like, I don't know how I've only worked with like IPL, CCA, and Dapple, so the big three, if you will. But like, so I don't know how other ones are, but I know IPL, like the TOs are very like involved in every step of the way. Meanwhile, Dapple ones are kind of just like, it'll play itself. It's like I'm sure they still help desk and everything, but I just imagine like for those TOs, it's also not fun to have to sit around 4 hours for 4 matches.
Yeah, like fair enough. I think literally for IPL, like IPL, they're all hands on. Because you see, there's a stream runner. Like they have a stream runner. They have TOs there to help out. But for Dapple, like, no, you're right. They're chill. Like literally, like paddling. Because if you have someone who literally knows how to run it, like in the stream, and like for the streamers and commentator, aka Pat, like Pat and me, basically being there, like we know how to run this already. So literally for all the TOs, they literally just leave because literally once the stream starts, that's it, they're done, because they know that we can handle it ourselves. Well, like for yours, because like since you came from IPL, you kind of need to be handled a little bit more. But like literally funny enough as well, as that's the difference as well, because for Trident, PA actually does stream running for you, so you are being handled as there as well. But there's a kind of different vibe to it, because it's depending on the TO. You're right on that. Yeah. So
it's more of a question about like and maybe this is just a broader question about like in general about like how do I put it? Just kind of like motivation, like
burnout.
Burnout, yeah. And people are just gonna get burnout, and it begs the question like, how much value is this providing to the scene? How much value is this providing to the spectators? How much value is this providing to the TOs? How much value is this providing really to the players, honestly? And like, that's really what the question becomes. And it's like, if it's not, then like, is there a need to run it every week? Let's just make it a little more sparse.
Yeah, honestly, like going to that, like it goes to like the ladder should be how much does this go to the TOs? How much commentators do we have? And how many? And then no, it's not commentators. First the TO. Like, do we have TOs for this event? Yes. Do you have a streamer for this event? Then it goes to that, and then commentators, and then goes to the players, honestly. Because, like everyone knows, streamers are sparse. Like, we have only a small, like, comparing to commentators, now like you see on the LCS, like the 18 or 24 groups of commentators that exist, there, or talking about like for Riptide, like with 48 commentators that exist. Comparing to that numbers to streamers, we have only like 8 active ones. Like that's like every week that can show up. Like 8 streamers that can show up. So that's the thing. So like, and but again, you're doing the one bi-weekly. Pipe Dream, aka Justin, does it weekly sorta for SOS, but if they want to break, they want to break. And then for me, I do paddling like every week. I should say that I should take a break, but at the same time too, like who else would be streaming on Wednesdays? Like no, like there's no more EU streamers anymore, so who else is going to be doing it?
Yeah,
but,
I'm like at work. That's like non-negotiable for me.
Yeah, so like that's the issue. Like if basically like what some of my friends are saying, like if I don't stream, the whole scene kind of collapse if I'm not here. that's the joke of it. Like, but it's literally because we don't have that many streamers right now. Like, if there is a way that we can get streamers, like literally, going back to Ellie, Ellie, she has been actually getting streamers for Under Pressure, so that's good for them. Like, that's good for them, and the Splatoon broadcaster server as well that did pop up in Pat. Like, we're getting more commentators, but streamers is still a minimal because the streamers that's there, they stream, quote unquote, but do they actually know how to stream, or do they want to do it? No one really responds to pings. You already know this already too, CKK. No one really responds to pings, so yeah. So
I did when I was new. I was like, holy crap, I want to do something.
Yeah, because you have a production drive. That's the thing. You have a production drive. I have a production drive. Ali has a production drive, sorta. Enki just streams it every week, every month for a low ink, so that's their thing. Jub does for LSL, so that's their thing. And I think Wings does it too for LSL, or if I remember correctly. Menor Cup doesn't exist anymore, so with that. Splatcat does it for FTIU. Amazon, who's doing it for CCA as well. Superwin, who's again doing it for some IPL aka SOS stuff. But is that everyone? I think that is literally everyone that does stream. Because Sama did before it, as you mentioned before, but Sama has been busy, so Sama's not doing it right now. So I think that literally is everyone who's actually was active in the past months, like 4 months, to be as an actual streamer, like for the past 3 months, who actually did stream events like every week. So in that number, like with honestly, if we talk about burnout, are you burnt out? Yes or no?
Am I burnt out?
Yes.
That's a good question. I mean, I think a lot of the streamers this past weekend. Let's talk about this past weekend. Because I think it poses like an interesting question and dynamic, right? Like this past weekend, I didn't participate in LCS because I wasn't part of the planning process for that, but I was still booked and busy because all y'all were busy.
Yeah.
And I had CCA that Sunday right before the LCS stream started. I did Squid Junction and SAC on Saturday. So, that weekend I was super busy. You were super busy, prepping for LCS, and I don't even know if you did anything on Saturday. No, you said you worked Saturdays.
I worked Saturdays, so yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm sure like this entire weekend, like everybody's been busy doing a crap ton of stuff. And I knew a few others that were, especially streamers that were just like busy doing stuff, or if not commentators. And I feel like, despite that being like a super busy week, and I definitely need a break after it, because I think I was going for 8 hours straight between jumping from SAC straight to Squid Junction. But like, I feel like for most people, like, and just in general with also burnout, I think there needs to be some kind of purpose behind it, because I'm sure LCS took a lot out of you, but like, how are you feeling after just having done that? I'm assuming I'm the first person you're talking to after that event. Like
100% yes. Basically, like literally for me, like again, with me doing the production for like other events, like I did for last week during my birthday, was the Madrid silver bracket thing that didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to be because of streamer. But literally, like making that was one thing, and then doing paddling, as well. I was doing that as well, and then LCS. It did work out. Fuck up with GX. Being is actually fuck up with GX. Don't use that shit. Or uninstall Truffle. Uninstall Truffle. If you have the Truffle extension, to install that, because that actually is it actually doesn't work
Oh
anymore.
yeah, you were the one that was having issues with the
But
CPU stuff
the
that JPEG
main
was talking about.
the main stream replay issue was literally because I had
Yeah.
truffle installed. Literally at
It's
finals,
funny.
literally at finals, I switched to Edge. It worked because I switched to Edge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, sometimes it does just happen.
yeah, so uninstall truffle if you haven't installed. Fuck that. Not fuck life with it. Like love it's kind of cool, but still the truffle add-on is broken. So uninstall that if you have that right now. But yeah, if you use Edge, it literally worked way better. But
Also,
literally,
side note, y'all need to stop sleeping on Edge because clearly it saved. It saved here. It came in clutch.
but honestly, Edge is
I-
Edge is the goat. Edge is the goat.
Edge is not as bad as people. Just because Internet Explorer got a bad rap, sometimes Edge just comes in clutch when you don't expect it to.
Yeah, and Opera GX is a CPU former. No one says about that. Well,
Yeah.
people know actually someone in the said about that, but no one cares about it because there's so many sponsors on YouTube, so it gets shouters out, and because all the cool quirky figures
that I'm using actively right now.
Same. There's so many good. No, honestly, there's so many good features of GX though. But yeah, there's so many bad issues though. But the good thing is we're not using Chrome. That's the good thing, because RAM would be cooked if we used Chrome.
True.
Talking about for burnout, I'm burnt out 100%. Like, I need to find like I want to do other things, but in the sense for the community, like saying about me being like the streamer that who's holding up the community, and if I don't stream, the community will collapse. Holding up to that ego is one of my things I need to do because I kind of have some history to become a producer. Funny enough, because this is kind of like because literally for me to become a producer in a TLTR, it's a spite story because of my ex, and literally like for me, I don't like Splatooners as much as people think about. Like the only cool one that's fine is Vic. Like Vic is really chill, but because of, like, again, I'm in like LAN stuff and like the streamer wise, like there's a difference between Splatooners and Splatoon streamers on Twitch. So yeah, like as for Splatooners who only does YouTube only, like most like everyone has a secret side to them that's sort of trash, and I have been there from like 2018 to 2023 when I split from my ex. So like again, like I said with Haya, like how I know Haya from back then, because I met them from someone else who I modded for, who turns to become a big Animal Crossing YouTuber nowadays. So that's the thing. But during my era, being Splatoon era, I got fucked over multiple ways. I did a stream. I helped TO. I helped editing and that kind of stuff. And literally, like, I don't want to bring up the tea, but there was some tea with a tournament that happened for the Insane group back then. I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm just saying there was some shit back then that happened that's on the wire now. Because me and Marina and like decided to move past it, but yeah, there was some shit back then, and that literally made me decide like I don't want to work for Splatoon anymore just because of that reason. Okay. But
interesting.
And
so you migrated to streaming then?
What?
You migrated to streaming instead then?
I migrated to streaming because I quit a comp back then too. So. During the same time that Ellie stopped doing comp, I stopped doing comp after Gridlock 2 years ago because my team sat me down saying like, there's something up with your gameplay, and we feel like you're not as strong comparing to us, aka as FreeFlow is, and I think you should step down from playing. And yeah, I definitely was, but I was scared to do that because I was the captain of the team back then.
Oh yeah.
But now, basically I'm just like the manager, but not really the manager. I'm just uncle. I'm just uncle. So yeah, like literally I'm migrating to streaming literally because of me knowing how to stream in general, like and knowing how to commentate as well. Like I did also streaming and commentate back then, like when I started us by Splatoon days. So I have a long history about how to do OBS stuff already.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, so really for that production sense, like I already know how to do it, but I just like took a break from a long time in S2 to S3 when I came back. But really now, doing this like every week, and with LCS being done, with the measuring server bracket being done, and all this other events being done, and I don't know what the hell is going to be happening with the Karma charity event that might happen. This is a spoiler, by the way, because it might happen, might not happen, because that has been like called up for a long time. I am fucking burnt out because I've been just doing this every week, and
Yeah, that's true.
literally I want to do other things, but I'm scared to share. So like I'm scared to share it, or I just like too tired to do it because
Yeah.
and also because of that X trauma as well. I don't really want to do it. So like editing, I want to do it. I have so many recordings saved I want to do, but even a history, like a tournament that I did for Osu, I saved from back in 2019 that I played in, but I have it still, but I didn't edit it because again, I'm just feeling so burned, and also because of trauma, because I'm scared to share it. Not busy.
Yeah.
I'm just too scared to do it because of the ego or the representation that I have already in the scene. Like if I and knowing about the algorithm as well on YouTube, like boom, I put this out after a long time. Will anyone see it? That's a fear. But honestly, like who cares? Like that's what I think too.
That's true.
So,
Well, I hope that you get the courage to put it back out on there, because that'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see your editing skills. If you're pretty good on the streaming side of things, I'd love to see like what you do on like the non-streaming side. Hopefully that mental block gets jumped over, you know?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, because of Louis season ending, there might be a chance that of editing some highlights for the Div X finals. Whenever that happens.
Nice.
Whenever that happens. Yeah. But yeah, but no, the main thing is though, like, am I burnt out? Yes. Can I take a break? Most likely not, because who else is there going to be? Who else is going to be streaming? Like, who else is like retroactively like there to be streaming? Like, who's like open to stream whenever like what happens? Like, so yeah, that's my thing. But
yeah,
and
for sure. Yeah,
well,
I get where you're coming from there for sure.
Yeah, but also CKK random opinion. You know like Gmod Splatoon, right? Or Gmod SFM Splatoon, right?
Yeah, that community. Yeah,
basically the basically my PFP, kind of. It's like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured it looked to SFM.
It's Gmod. That
or yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know the shit that's in that community, right? That happened.
Yeah.
There was so much clashes with the comp community. And the Gmod SFM community back then and now kind of too, that that's how scared I am to post start as well, like and a random tangent wise.
That makes sense. Okay.
Basically,
it sucked that like that I heard mostly bad things from like the Splatoon Gmod community, just because it's like, do you know how cool it would be to actually have like nice 3D renders of like and animations related to like Splatoon that you could do that's not just, you know, stuck to Nintendo, you know what I mean?
Here's the funny thing. That's why everyone says Blender is the best.
Yeah.
And like Blender is great, but if you like don't have much time to learn it, or since you already know so much about Gmod, like, and you're like busy, like why not you just like Gmod is like somewhere that you can just make a shit post or something and then post it, or
exactly.
Like that's something easy that you could do like for fun. But for Blender, like you actually need to like take actual brain work into it. Unless you're like someone who does like actual like rendering and effects on Gmod and SFM photos. Like you first like make the photo on Gmod and SFM basically, like as basic. and then you go into Photoshop and then edit the fuck out of it. And there is a lot of people who do that, but they get undershadowed or overshadowed, but mostly, or they get known because again, the sphere gets retweeted or followed by the people who's in the sphere. But if you just do it for shitpost, people don't want to care. And yeah, but or people can shit talk you on that as well, because if it's shit, they will call it out. So yeah, sure. That's the scary part of me posting art. So that's one side tangent for me. But main question about being burnt out, yes. I need a nap. Like I need to take a month off, sure. But I'm most likely might not do that, honestly, because again, the thing. But usually, like in that sense, like for paladin, like I literally did for today, like I just show up, I do the stream, I have a video on the side. Like literally, I watched like schedule on Jacksepticeye today during the whole stream. So like I literally like entertain myself because I'm so used to the sweaty that like it's just autopilot.
I've slept mid set before. I'm not gonna lie.
You did? Wait, when?
I'm taking like like micro naps, like 2 to 3 minute naps.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Like when it's really bad, I'm just like I'm turning on the auto cam for 2 minutes. I'm sorry.
No, 100% makes sense. Like literally, like as streamers and doing a one-man show, we need to find a way to entertain ourselves because we've been here for a year, or you've been here for a year. I think I've been here for 2 years now, but like we need to find a way to entertain ourselves so we don't get carpal tunnel. That's one thing for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, like since we always do everything, it's the same old function. We don't talk because we're only the streamer. We're not commentators. We don't talk. But so yeah, we need to find a way to entertain ourselves. So yeah, exactly. That's literally it. Or we do this.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess my point was like I thought you'd feel a little more like proud or like happy or like I guess like proud is the word about like doing the LCS thing because it's a special event and everything. And I'm assuming you had like some hand in it in some way.
Well, and the funniest story is it was all JPEG and Falco. I was just there to stream and kind of yap too about like some of my stuff because I was just like I just said some things. That's really it. But it was all JPEG and Falco in the background. Like I just asked like for updates. Like I asked for updates. I asked from JPEG like is there a beta overlay that I can maybe mess around with, and this was during the time that JPEG was actually focusing on BLBC. So there was nothing until 3 weeks or I think it was 3 weeks or 2 weeks before the event that they had an overlay finish that I downloaded and able to work out on. But that's the main thing. So but about the issues actually funny enough that happened during the LCS, talking about that, talking about the CPU encoding, funny enough, me and JPEG are a split on that because if you watch Celeste speedruns, the Celeste speedrun community, there was a way they can get the stream from Twitch without ads, and technically I did show that. Wow. And that's literally using a thing called Streamlink. It's possible. You need to have an external program for that or use code for that. So I don't really know about that, but I talked to someone else who actually does do it, the streamer actually for the /speedrun community. It looked really cool because they actually showed me about how it looked like as well because I asked about it, and we were commentating together in an also tournament at Squim. So that's how I figured it out. That would be cool, but. We used Video Ninja, and the thing is as well, there was miscommunication, funny enough too, because we were supposed to get the stream feed, not the game feed, and we got the game feed. Okay. So
you guys got the game feed. That's funny. That explains the in the top left. But I kind of liked that vibe. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of liked that you guys had the score separate. Honestly,
the score separate, like that's the good thing. But this is the issue. It was the game feed. Only the game feed, not the stream feed.
So, you couldn't get audio, right?
We did get audio, funny enough, from the game feed, but it was like really
but not
bad.
Like from the commentators. Right?
Yeah, not from the commentators because it wasn't the stream feed. So if we got it from the stream, it would have been like smoother and maybe look better because it would be like running it from Twitch and stuff. But because it was from Video Ninja, which uses CPU, again, fuck again, fuck Oppo GX because using my CPU for that shit. But also like it used so much power on other devices as well. Like I talked to JPEG about like worrying about Saf's computer because Saf was running one of the streams, and Saf was having a really rough time running on their computer. It didn't with Ellie as well, if I remember from the chat in our production chat. Like Ellie was having some issues as well. Pipe Dream was running Splatoon 23. No, it was running Splatoon 22, I think. Or no, I think it was 3 actually. But every time that Pipe Dream was uploading replays, their internet dipped because it was uploading the replay during that time. But the only thing that was good was Vice's stream. It was on CPU encoding. But this is the thing. Me going to Bria Bay, I know Vice's setup. And Vice has 2 different computers. Vice has the one that streams for Bria Bay. And then the other one is a fucking stacked computer, man. Like like 64 gigabytes of RAM. Like I think an i9 CPU. Wow. Yeah, that's and like an RTX 390 or something like that. Jesus. Yeah, comparing that to us, like that's a difference right there with computer things. So that's one thing that's like
wait, before you continue, for anybody listening right now, I have to peddle this propaganda. I promise you don't need this much to stream.
What?
We need more streamers. We
oh
need
no, yeah.
Please,
yeah. No,
I promise
crappy
you don't need all of
hold up. Crappy laptops? No, hold on. What's your specs? Let's say that.
My specs, dude. In terms of like, wait, let me pull it up.
Pull up your task manager right now. What's your specs?
Dude, I run on like, it's not like the worst thing ever, but I'm running an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 6-core processor that ran me like $108 like years ago. I have 16 gigs of memory. I have 2 SSDs and a hard drive. And my GPU is an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060, 3 gigs of VRAM, and I've never run into issues.
1060?
Like, yeah, 1060. Yeah, 3 gigs of VRAM, not even a 6 gig one. So it's like, and I've never run into an issue with like a Splatoon stream. I run into issues when I like try to do like an intensive game like Overwatch or Rainbow Six, but I've never run into stream issues with Splatoon because obviously, you know, the Switch is running.
Yeah. And also because most likely
my OBS crashes, but that's an OBS issue or issue.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think because that's a CPU and memory thing as well, technically, so it does make sense, but if you're using a desktop, it's better than a laptop.
Yeah, that's true.
So
this is true. But, but my point is basically you don't need super beefy hardware. Let's figure it out. If you're interested in spectating, or honestly, I think we also need to have dedicated spectators. But I don't want to go too much on a tangent on that. I know you were talking about your thing. I just didn't want to discourage it. Or I could get into that later. But like, yeah, I think in general, I think it'd be a good idea to have people who are dedicated to like Beckcam and then just like share their feed to like someone with technical, so that way they could run the broadcast graphics.
Yeah,
also depends on
so that part though it goes into 2 things. Oh, actually 3 things. We've only been talking for 2 hours. So
yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't want to take away from what you were saying. I just wanted a quick addendum for anybody listening, just like,
no, honestly, I kind of forgot what I was talking about.
We were talking about burnout.
Yeah, but I think we were at the ending of the conversation, to be honest. So yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I just wanted to say that like I feel like the best way to stop burnout is to work on big projects that people care about. And I feel like when it comes to weeklies, it's definitely harder to feel like the event matters all that much in the grand scheme of things compared to like an event like LCS. Like, I know you were probably tired from it. It gave you hell in terms of technical issues, but I'm sure a part of you feels very proud to have been part of that project that like meant a lot of people and got big viewership and
and people were actually watching your stream.
Oh, there's a funny thing I could say about that though.
Oh,
With
no.
that foundness is like, this is kind of like an ego thing. I think like it will sound bad because it sounds like ego, but like because like if you look at the CCA credits as well, you're listed on the production. I'm listed as other partners. This is the second time now I was listed for other partners, even though I helped stream and I helped make this Shista.io for them too. Like, what the fuck?
Well, that's why they put you as other partners, because you did more than just stream.
Well,
Yeah.
I was in production, but technically I'm not part of the CCA staff. Like, so like
that's why.
so like honestly, like credits wise, I feel weird because like I'm not I'm part of Dapple. You're a part of Dapple. You're a part of IPL. I feel like I'm literally just a loose. I'm a loose end other than Dapple. I'm just a loose end, but I should be a part of like Splatoon tourney, or I should be a part of like a Splatoon tourney like as a like dedicated streamer, because for the streams that happen, or 3 of the streams that happen, Via Bay, AZ, Sea Battle, that was a part of Splatoon tourney. I'm
exactly.
technically a Splatoon tourney representative for LANs, but that doesn't exist. Like, so
Would you want to be? Would you want to be like you hit up Falco, be like, please?
I have access to the YouTube channel, so I'm already editing the VODs to actually add like the matches and stuff. So yeah, I'm
so
technically
officially you are the Splatoon tourney guy in terms of streams.
unofficially.
Unofficially,
yeah, I'm a Splatoon tourney representative. Because at the same time too, for Whiptide of last year, I was mainly on B stream with the other streamer who was doing B stream, and that was streaming a Splatoon tourney. I'm a Splatoon tourney is technically my second baby now, but
that's what I mean. Yeah, that's also what I mean too. I think one of the best ways to prevent burnout is when, especially the streamers, feel like they have as much of a say in the production and feel like they are a part of the event that they're creating. Like they feel like they have their hand in the event, as opposed to we're just keeping this thing alive for the sake of just keeping it alive.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like that part, I think with having production have more of a hand and maybe overlays and stuff, because most of the time the overlays are made by somebody who's very specialized, does it, and then the chances that they actually stream is like super low. So I think it'd be interesting to make sure to keep that investment, is that they have a little bit more say and influence in like how the streams are made, if they have that ability to. Obviously, I'm thinking someone like an Ellie. I'm sure she feels very, even if she streams a lot and she does a lot of overlays, when she has to sit down and actually stream, it's her stuff. She's seeing the work that she's putting in, and like kind of like what you were saying with the Splatoon trilogy. I know you're not really saying it because, like you said, about the ego thing, but I feel like you showing up to be on the big day on the mainstream, despite the issues and everything, I'm sure you feel a little satisfied with that whole situation. You kind of have a little bit of a pride compared to just doing paddling pool 1 bajillionth,
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because it's something you put so much effort, time. You were out there in the front lines doing most of the streams for most of these events in person, and then you're seeing the fruits of your labor towards the end. And I think that's what it is. And obviously, I'm just hearing you talk, and the way you're talking about like just I feel a little burnt out of all these weeklies just because I feel like I have to do it or nobody else will. I think that's where burnout really lives, personally. I feel like burnout lives where people feel unfulfilled, because I am willing to throw myself into 12 hours of just pure hell and misery and come out of the other end smiling. And telling my friends that I did that, and they're like, wow, that sounds awful, and they're just like, no, I had the time of my life. And that's how I felt about GatorLAN, genuinely. Like, despite all the messes that happened because of it, despite everything that could have gone better, despite the fact that I had like 1 5-minute break that entire like 12-hour like stream, like I couldn't. I didn't. I could tell you right now. I didn't feel more alive. Like it was ecstatic and amazing, and it's because it's something I worked on, and it's something I care about deeply, and I feel like I am a part of it, even if all I did was the stream part. I didn't do any of the TOing or anything.
Fine.
And I think that's what prevents burnout. Honestly, I will sit through a million GatorLANs, but I'll probably get tired of an event that I feel like isn't going anywhere, and I don't have too much of a hand in. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? That comes full circle because that's the difference between doing it at a LAN and doing it online. So burnout is basically, in other terms, just go to a LAN. Like you won't be you won't be burned out at a LAN because you'll be with people and you'll be doing your own, and you're doing your own thing, but you're with people to be with you. While online, you're using someone else's work and might be being the same week and you're alone. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like,
Like
if
I'm
you,
sitting in my room looking like a loser that's like on my 8th hour of sitting in my room. My parents take a look at me and it's like, what are you up to? I'm on my 3rd broadcast of the day. Don't worry.
for real, no, for real. Like that's literally like you said. Like you had to do SAC to introduction. That was me doing Trident to FTIU. Like literally, like that's the same thing. Like if you like spending up to 8 hours alone in your room, being like homestuck basically, versus being at a LAN for 12 hours with people who can help you and like actually like stay alive, like saying like asking like actually like are you okay, like that's the good thing. Because at home, like you definitely get homestuck if you do this for so long. If you don't have a break or do this every week, like you'll definitely get stuck if you don't have anything else to, like if you feel during the stream like you're using your own PC, like I could do something else right now, but I'm here. Exactly. So like but at a LAN, like you can just do whatever you want. You can have fun and stuff like that. So
you talk to people, that kind of experience.
So
I feel the same way. Although I will say, I do this because I enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. I care about the Splatoon community and I want to contribute. So it's not, for me, it's not so much I could be doing something else. I'm not at that stage yet where I feel like I'm tied. It's like if I won't do it, nobody else will. I'm not at that point yet because I definitely say no when I feel like I have something planned already. But it is one of those situations where it's like I said, like when you've gone for a while and maybe your heart's not in this one specific event because the turnout's a little disappointing. You get a little sleepy, it happens. But I find most of my enjoyment from like improving my spec cam skills, having little moments with commentators in between breaks and doing all that and looking back on an event, and capturing like good moments. Like for example, for me, one thing that stops from like that keeps away a lot of the burnout is like I like sitting down and getting replays of like the matches that I did, so that way there's more than just the video record, kind of going back to what you're saying about like keeping records, but also just like an actual replay record. I need to do it for SAC because I wrote down the replays for SAC. I'll post that probably later, and I also need to do it for the Squid Junction. CCA I'm not too worried about because there was a Thursday stream for CCA and I forgot to save those replays, but CCA already saves replays, which shout out to them for doing that for like stats purposes. But I need to upload the SEC and Squid Junction one from this past weekend. But like doing that makes me feel like I'm actually contributing to the scene. And I know people are likely not clicking on my profile and clicking on the replays and actually watching them back and getting some value from them, but like I delude myself into thinking they might. And another part is like seeing like clips that came from the streams that I did, and especially when they're good clips, like nice solid 3 or 4Ks, or just like really hype moments, or like moments that were just like jaw dropping, where like the competitors are really putting on a show, and I was able to capture it. I feel like very, very pride. I have a lot of pride. I feel very proud about that moment, even if I'm not the person playing the game. I feel proud that I got a good view of it, and that's where I get a lot of my fulfillment and enjoyment from it. It's about making sure you have like you not only feel appreciated for your work, but also you're able to see the fruits of your work, and
Hmm.
that also that you actually feel like you are actually contributing to your work.
Yeah.
I think that's what keeps away like burnout, not just in like the Splatoon scene and in broadcasting, but just in general. And
Hmm.
I think it should be something that the TOs consider is for sure. Just making sure that like the broadcasters feel that way, and also
Hmm.
we need a lot more propaganda. We need more broadcaster propaganda so that we could take more breaks.
Yeah, honestly, like,
Just in general.
yeah, honestly, like, we need podcast propaganda for sure. But thank to you, but the future of labor, like, that's honestly what everyone does think as well when you do stream. Like, at the end, like, we did that, and saying about the replays as well. Like, we did do that, like, for the clips we posted. Like, we made that happen. So, like, it's a good thing for us to see because we did the work and we're getting it showed. But like, you doing the replays after, like, even though not many people are showing it, like, that is a good thing for history wise, because even though replays might be killed off after, like, someone like Vborn who does like replay reviews, or Pink Puff Facial who does replay reviews, like, something like that, if you get a coach to look at that and actually replay and like watch you like replay and do like reviews of it afterwards, like, that's good for the sense of people to learn about how to play the game and stuff like that by doing
Exactly.
a match review. But like, remember like the Squid School? The Squid School was
Yeah.
actually like good before they got
Yeah.
canceled. Yeah,
Yeah.
if someone brings that back, like, that would be good to see. But
Oh yeah,
because
I think we need to. There's like a power vacuum since he stopped uploading, honestly, in terms of like actual good educational content that bridged the gap between like newer players and like the competitive scene, but not from like a get into the competitive scene like the way Stronghold does, but like in a this is how you get good, here's some examples, and you should watch these people to get good, just like how every other esport has those things.
yeah.
And that's how, you know, casual people who aren't as good get invested in those top level people, because they watch somebody that's interesting, that's good at the game, and they can study it or just be amazed by like how good they play. And I think we need more content people to highlight that specifically. I know a lot more people have been doing content, but it's not like focused content. It's just like uploading their rods, which is nice.
Yeah,
It's good, but it's not content that's
educational.
educational. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like I don't stream that much high level, honestly, to really like, or top level really, to really justify doing it. My personal goal, like that I would want to do in like broadcasting with Splatoon, is to get like to do top level um streams. I would like to stream top level. I'd like to not only watch it like while like spectating it and doing a good job on that, but also being able to share those replays with not only just the TOs, but then also like what you said, educational, you know, content creators, and be like, hey, you know I just finished streaming this. Here's the stream. Here's the thing. I would love for you to watch this set. The set was awesome. And I want to personally help develop that without actually sitting down and doing it. And that's where I probably would want to do, because I know like on my personal channel, um like I said, Ren's a friend of mine, and I remember way back when he did like VOD reviews on his Twitch, like all the way back when. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like, I like watching, for example, like this is just an example from Valorant, but I could pick up a million different examples of like different YouTubers that I've seen from plenty of different games do this. But like, for example, like I think of someone like Woohoojin, which if you're not familiar with Woohoojin, he's a banana. He's a PSP and YouTuber of a banana, and he does basically like free coaching, or he does free VOD reviews for people's solo queue games.
Interesting.
Um, and that's like his whole shtick. He pushes like a lot of like Patreon, Discord subscription. That's how he makes his money
Yeah, it
besides
does.
ads.
Yeah, makes sense.
So he doesn't do it directly through coaching, but because he gets so much exposure for doing it for free, and he builds a community around people who kind of want to play the raffle to see if they get their VODs, things reviewed and stuff like that.
Mm.
You know, I also really like his editing style and how he does educational content. So I sat down, I took the VOD, and kind of without telling Ren, I put together a little video just splicing up the important parts of his VOD review.
Mm.
And I turned it into something. It didn't get views or anything. I'm not great at thumbnailing or titling, honestly, but
Mm.
it's a really cool video, and obviously it's outdated. It was like 2023.
May,
Like,
yeah. Wait, 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a crowd tank photo. So obviously none of it's like super duper relevant today. I'm sure the meta's evolved, but
Mm.
like that's ideally what I would love to stream top level, get that nice VOD, ship it off to somebody else, have them review it, and then maybe even edit it for them, just so that way, you know, that content ecosystem grows. And I want to be a part of that. And that's like my ultimate overall goal. I would want to grow that scene in general, and I also just want more matches that feel like they matter.
Yeah.
More tournaments that feel like they matter. Like LCS is. I was jealous of you that you were able to do all that, because I feel like LCS is one of those events that matter.
It yeah, because it was a land, because of the land, it's a land culture. That's why, so it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But say like in the Resurgence League comes back, or Super Jump happens again, like if or even like a mid-level event like SAC, like in the finals, like that kind of event you would want to do, because that's basically is a top to mid-level that is interesting, that actually would be recognizable, because like it's a big event, so it makes sense. Like if you want to do that and send it over, like what happened to you and Ren? Like honestly, why can't you just talk to Ren again and say like, hey, so I'm thinking about doing this project. Why not you help out?
Bro is retired. Well, okay. Actually, as of recording, Ren did. He did put out a blue sky post saying, "I offered coaching to a friend of mine since they seemed pretty motivated. Now I find myself VOD reviewing for fun again. I'm never going to escape this cycle, am I? So I might be back. I might do the job."
Yeah, no, honestly, like that might be like a good thing for you and Ren and for the community if that happens again, because Ren might be the next like educational Splatuber that actually is good. So yeah, that'll be good. That'll be positive in the community if you do that. So yeah, it's your idea. Yeah,
Stuff like that is very dependent on whether or not he wants to do that. I don't know if he wants to do that. Like he said, he wants to be retired. It seems like he wants to be. So I'm not gonna drag him out of the grave just to do it. Even though he seems to be kind of getting back into it in some way, shape, or form. But I'm not gonna force him.
The thing is,
he wants to pay me too, and I'm doing it because I love him.
Yeah. Like the thing is though, CKK, like it's like that meme, like the we're so like it's over, we're so back, like that hill meme. But like we're so over, we're so back. That's literally a Splatoon. Like it's basically like the same meme that comes from Osu. You will never escape. You will never escape. You will never escape. Basically, that's the whole thing with any game that you go to. Like if you're invested for so long, you will actually never escape that game community, because you always have a lingual way to come back. So yeah,
that's why I was playing Valorant before this recording.
Yeah. That's why you popped up at the start, and that was like
true.
Yeah.
Dude, I played so much Valorant between 2020 and 2023. I made Diamond. I know that's not Ascendant, Immortal, whatever, but I played too much of that game.
Hey,
so it's still in me.
Yeah, no, it's
like riding a bicycle.
Oh yeah, basically, yeah. But God, is that everything?
I don't know, unless he wanted to bring anything up. I am someone who could just talk for ages, so
We definitely went overtime on some unusual podcast. We already went overtime because usually
you make a part 1, 2, and 3. That's consistent content right there. Boom.
Dude, that's real. But honestly, we need other people to get on here. So yeah, but like really, one final thing. The spec. You know what? Yeah, no. Let's go into this because you mentioned about spec camming. On a scale of 1 to 10, what level do you think your spec cam is at right now?
Dude, I don't know. It's like my personal ranking of myself, dude, I think I'm like a 4 or 5, because obviously I point out every single time, I'm like, dude, I pressed the wrong button, my controller flicked back up. Like, I don't know, there's something wrong with my pro controller. I think it's like a dead zone issue. Like, sometimes I press down to do objective cam and it flicks back up and it does overview, and then like the camera's just like spazzing out everywhere, and it's like, oh my gosh.
That's a gimmick.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, especially when it comes to those moments, or like if I'm just not locked in, like I was saying, like sometimes I get sleepy, sometimes I just like unfocus, and sometimes my all isn't in it, and I feel like I definitely get lazy and get sloppy. So I don't think I could really say it's more than like a 5. But then it's like I have other times when like I capture a really good moment, and people, especially like it's like serotonin injected into my brain every single time I capture a good play, and the casters are reacting to it like, in real time. It's amazing. But yeah, just it feels I know, like for me, I'm gonna say it's like a 4 out of 10. I feel like there's so much room to improve, but like I've genuinely had a lot of people, like at least when they do get to talk to me, like genuinely find my spec cam like pretty decent. And I've heard that if you're not getting yelled at in the Twitch chat about your spec camming, you're doing it right. So I guess I'm better than I think. So if I had to give myself a realistic rating, probably a 7 out of 10.
That's good.
So,
Yeah, that's good. So yeah, that's the main thing. Like, if like you're right. If you don't get yelled at by Twitch chat saying that you're doing something wrong, that's a good thing to matter. So yes, 7 out of 10 is a good rating. That's good. Like, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Like, you like, if you were going down, if you say yourself as a 3 out of 10, you're self-doubting yourself. Like, honestly, like you would be you'd definitely be yelled at. Like, you're self-doubting yourself because you've been here for a year, like you said before. So
yeah.
you're saying that you're at 7 out of 10, that's a good stat that you should be at. Like, you shouldn't be nothing higher than a 6. Because if you're nothing if you're lower than a 6, that is an issue. If you've been here for this long, like, that is showing that you might not have a grind, or like that you're self-doubting yourself that you could be better, but you're still the reason why is because there's something that you might be thinking is an issue, but the only way that you can do it is like figuring it out yourself. But what is that issue if you're trying to copy from other people? If you're trying to copy from other people, and you give yourself a 6 underneath the 6 because you're trying to be like someone else, that's something bad. And that's something that all streamers have in different spec cam. Like, literally, like, everyone has a different spec cam style, and if you have your own spec cam style and you live with it, that's a good thing. So yeah, it's a good way that you say you're 7 out of 10. So that gives you some
weird
confidence.
because it's like no one talks about it. You know, no one talks about it. There's like one doc that I've read, and the doc is good.
Oh, the point doc.
But like, yeah, it's good, but like, it's bad. I don't want to like self brag, but I feel like
it's out of.
I've already learned a lot of those things by spec camming other games. You know what I mean?
Like, basically that doc is kind of it's kind of outdated, honestly. Like,
you think so? I think it's pretty solid.
Like,
even for, like, today.
It's solid for newbies, but honestly, that's if you want to read, because like the best experience is if you literally just watch it yourself. So it's outdated in the sense of basically like it's outdated for anyone who's like experienced already. But
I mean, if you have no game,
if you have no game knowledge, if you have no game knowledge, if you have no game knowledge is good. But for someone who actually played the game before, you don't need the doc because you already know how to do it yourself. You just need to figure out what the controls are. So, yeah, honestly,
I didn't know how to go overhead for a while.
You didn't know how to.
So my strategy was whoever is about to get special is who I go for, and to be honest, it worked out.
Like, that's what you're like, in a general rule of spec camming, that's what you should do, because that's action, because that's the action that people want to see. People want to see specials. So people want to say
Yeah,
special. They
exactly.
don't want to say stalemates, like clamplets for like 5 minutes at Museum del Fascino. So like
Yeah,
people want to see action. That's all that matters. So yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and not gonna lie, I think the one thing that's unique about me is sometimes I just if somebody's like doing really well, I just put it on them, and I put down the controller.
Yep. No,
I'm
makes
like,
sense.
let's let this guy cook.
Yep. No, for real. That's a good
He's
thing.
farming
Yeah.
the content for me.
Yep. That's a
So
good
yeah.
thing. Yep.
It
That's
sometimes it backfires because sometimes I'm like, wow, this pencil got too. They're staring at a wall right now.
like that pencil.
I gotta pick up the controller.
Like pencil got 2. That's cool. Oh wait, the pencil. Okay, Blackline PvP. like Blackline PvP, you just wait. That's basically the
Yeah.
meme.
It just feels a little awkward afterwards. It's like, man.
But honestly, whoever you watch, the reason why you chose them is because they have action, so it makes sense. So
Okay.
you chose them for a reason, and that's good. So you did.
Mhm.
At least you're better than Auto Spec. That's what everyone says. As long as you're better than Auto Spec, that's all that matters.
Dude, auto spec is not that bad. I think people need to get over it a little bit.
For real, no, for real, yeah. Auto Spec got way better compared to S2. Like S3, Auto Spec is
Yeah.
actually way more better because S3,
Yeah.
because S3 Auto Spec does things that you can't do in S2, can't do manually. So yeah, it's actually
Yeah,
is better.
there's things in spec cam that are just like, dude, why isn't this a control thing I can do?
Yeah,
I don't know why.
like
Like
the
the fact that you can overhead follow like an individual person,
yeah,
why can't I do that?
literally,
I would love that.
yeah, and literally at the same time, I think it's is nearby for some ejector cameras as well. Like there is something that you can do in there that you can't do in manual as well. So like, why can't we
Yeah.
do that? Like and the map bounds as well. Auto spec cam actually goes out of bounds sometimes that we can't do. So
Oh,
like
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
yeah, like what the fuck? Like that's a crazy
Like,
thing.
low-key, sometimes spec cam is nicer.
Yeah.
People need to wake up. I mean, listen, I'm not advocating for the AIs to replace humans, but listen, sometimes if I gotta take a 2-minute nap, I'm gonna let the auto spec cam take
No,
over
for
for 2
real.
minutes.
No, for real. Auto spec cam is
Like,
actually
no-
kind of good.
Yeah, and then also I also hate cooler because because the respawn timer is so short.
Oh yeah.
It'll get them respawning, and then it's an awkward like trek back for the camera to get back into the action.
Oh yeah.
On auto spec, it swaps it automatically, so
Yeah.
don't have to worry about that.
Yes. So that's a good thing. Like the AI for Splatoon 3 is actually knowledgeable. So that's a good thing. At least no, that's the funny thing. They put all the knowledge into the spec cam rather than the actual weapons.
True. It had to go somewhere. It just had to
Yeah.
go somewhere.
I had to go somewhere. This is the funny thing. It goes to the places where people don't care. Think about that for a second.
Exactly. True. Well, I care, and I'm glad it exists.
Yeah, that's the thing. It comes to it goes to the places
Nobody
people
else
don't care about.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Well, okay. I think we brought it up bit enough to talk about GatorLAN barely, but talk more about production. So, God, that was a thing.
I didn't even talk about the venue. You asked me about the venue. I
Oh
didn't even
yeah.
talk about
We talked about like 5%, like for like 3 seconds.
it. TLDR, the venue is in a big auditorium-esque, not auditorium, that's not the right word. It was what is it called?
A big dining hall or ballroom.
No, not a dining hall.
A ballroom.
Yes, it's a ballroom. Hardwood floor. It kind of reminded me of a gym. That's besides the point. But it was just a very big room. We had to share it with Marvel Rivals, and I can say confidently we had more teams than Marvel Rivals. But
Wow.
right, it's crazy. So we had a bunch of tables set up all around the area. We had to share some of the area with Marvel Rivals, unfortunately, despite us needing way more space than they did. And yeah, there was just some tables set up next to each other. I was in one of the tables just manning the stream.
And yeah, it's just like a big area. It feels like way more than you need. But last year, like when we first, or last year when we did get it last spring, that ballroom, it definitely felt like, you know, too much room, and we were just rocking it out with like 3 tables. This time we had a way more equipment, so we were filling out like solidly 5 or 6 or more, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome, and it was just a wide open space, but it's cool because you get to really walk around, play the game on the floor, do whatever. And yeah, it's like weird. It's like if you were playing it in a gym without the bleachers and without the sports stuff. But it's a nice open space. It's really cool. It's awesome. We had plenty of power supplied, so
Yeah, that's the thing that we need to go for. And if you have a lot of space, that's a really good thing. But yeah, so it's a good thing that you added on about the venue, because I think I think that was really the last thing that we needed to talk about, because we talked about everything else with the story. Like I think the vibe too. Technically, I think we talked about a little bit. But what was the vibe there at GatorLAN before we like wrap it up? I guess.
Oh yeah, the vibe was definitely more, like I said, duct tape and glue, but it adds to the charm. It's very chill, it's very casual, everyone's having a good time. Despite delays, like people didn't really complain. I think people were just happy to be around each other. People were playing Wi-Fi if they needed to, not for like bracket, but you know, there was a whole separate like whatchamacallit, like salmon run bracket that people were doing. Like people were just having fun, and that's what really mattered. People were having a good time, people were connecting with each other, people were just doing fun stuff. And like I said, there's so many CCA people there. Like it's basically a Florida collegiate land, and that's what we should probably start treating it as, because everyone shows up. Like we even had SCAD show up, and SCAD's from Georgia.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, basically every Florida school, or at least pieces of every Florida school, like the big public ones at least, or like just the notable ones, had showed up, and it was awesome. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun, especially if you're in the collegiate Florida scene. Don't miss out. It's a really cool vibe. You're gonna meet a lot of people in the collegiate scene, but there's also people not in the collegiate scene, so you know, lots of cool people.
Yeah, so that's good. Did anyone talk to you during the whole thing, other than obviously
Yeah,
we?
of course. I mean, what do you mean?
Do you want to shout out any people who talked to you during the event?
Did you talk to me? Well, obviously, number one, Weef for just letting me do it. The first GatorLAN I attended, I just said, "Hey, is there a stream?" And there wasn't. I was like, "I'll do it," and that's actually how that first event actually motivated me to go again the next GatorLAN, and that's actually the reason why I wanted to get back into Splatoon, and specifically Splatoon, like the competitive scene, as like a broadcaster, because of everything I had learned up to this point, and I had so much fun at GatorLAN. I said, you know, I want to do this. I want to learn more about the competitive scene, because I knew a little bit about it in S1 because my friends played, like old head names that played. Obviously, like one of them being Ren. Who,
Yeah.
not really old head, but right now, but he is old head in my heart because he's older than me.
He's Unk. He's an Unk.
He's Unk for sure. He was 18 when I met him. Jesus, I was 13. So.
Damn! Wait, let's go. Hold on.
Well, we were just friends. Chill.
Yeah, good.
But yeah, no, but it was just like I said. I met him through like a Twitch chat, and I had plenty of other friends. We had. It's very uncharacteristic for the internet, but I had pretty good experiences with adults in that thing, and yeah, I think actually having good adult role model is just as important than is more important than just not interacting with minors at all.
Yes.
Obviously, have boundaries. You don't need to be their best friends, but like having good positive role models and good interactions with minors, and making sure you establish those proper boundaries and everything, even if they're being a little too much, is good developmentally. And I'm glad that I had a positive experience with not only him, but like everyone else in that.
That is that's a wild statement at the end. Hopefully,
I have met bad adults through Splatoon, but that
yeah.
is a different story that I'm not gonna go on to hear about.
Good. Okay, good. Okay, good. That's for like
But-
an after dark. That's for like an after dark segment.
That's
But
after dark.
but
Exactly.
yeah, but no, honestly, like you said about the role model, I think yeah, no, honestly, like having a good adult role model in the scene is actually really good to help you like improve it as well, like in competitive in general as well, but also like yeah, as a
Just in
person,
life.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because if you're hard stuck in a friend group with only like friends and stuff, like with at the same age, like you won't really grow because you're learning in the Gen Z era, and since you're learning in Gen Z era,
Yeah,
like
especially
you
this-
kind of
this
you're
age.
kind of fucked, man. So yeah, no, like you're definitely right about having a double models. Definitely will help you out a lot. Like in the production sphere as well, they technically already, but technically, how old are you?
I am now currently 23.
So yeah,
It's been 10 years since I first picked up Splatoon.
yeah. So like.
Yeah.
So like in the Walmart sphere, all of us right now, as active streamers, we are all good adult Walmarts, even for like Splatoon 20 and technically for Dapple as well. Like, and IPL definitely as well. Like all of us, like if you want to go to the Splatoon podcast server and ask us about production, like we are all good Walmarts in production because we are all experienced. And if you need help, you just go to us. Like that makes sense there. But if you be a bitch about it on the other way, yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
because
If you
like,
can't handle it, for sure, don't.
if you can't handle it, or if you'd be a bitch to us, yeah, no, don't, because you have to learn respect on how our work is done. And
Yeah, exactly.
like again, like you said earlier, it's not that hard. You don't need that much PC power. You just need to have general knowledge about how to run anything, honestly. Like if you can run a schedule, or like if you know how to run some kind of schedule, or just know how to run at the game, that's all you really need to actually do a stream, more or less. You just need interest, that like you said.
Especially if you're burnt out on competitive. If you're burnt out on competitive and you want to find something else to do, please consider doing it. I need a break. Jorian especially needs a break.
No, honestly,
Consider...
honestly, commentate. Honestly,
Commentate, true.
commentate instead. Like commentate first, and then go into streaming. Because if you have the specs to stream, yeah, do stream for sure. But all you fellas that are all old gen that does actually play the game and want something else to do other than be badge grinders, commentate, because you top level people have knowledge. So everyone wants to hear that as well. Like if you're random and top level, if you commentate, you're going to be getting some ego from there. I know how everyone wants some ego, so yeah, like commentating gives you some ego. So go ahead and go commentate. We need commentates for weeklies, like literally in Dapple sense. Benji, Fishy, or Risu before, I commentated before. They stopped now, but they were doing before. That's a top level EU player commentated. Like if we get more of those, even like in
Wait,
NA,
Energy Benji
upgrades.
Fishy is Risu 3K? What the?
Yep. Like they commentated before.
wondering.
Yeah, they're the same people.
That's a separate discussion for a separate time, but
Yeah, but
get into production in some way. It doesn't just have to be commentating or production. If your passions lie in editing to script writing, doing content in general, do it. Just do it. Just contribute something to the scene, especially if you don't feel like competing anymore. I never felt like competing, but I wanted to contribute to the scene. And like I said, having a positive experience at a LAN. And I wasn't even at GatorLAN for any reason besides I just wanted to check it out just because it looked cool and it was in my area.
Yeah.
I wasn't even there for Splatoon. I just wanted to see everything. And I saw Splatoon was there, and then I ended up the entire day. So
yeah. So
give back to your community. That's what it really is all about. And and there are multiple ways to be a part of it without just competing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what drew me in. I will say though, on the TO side and on the work side, please actually start
checking your applications. It took me like 6 months just to get mine reviewed, but still,
Oh, no, for real.
regardless, at IPL. But,
Yeah. Funny enough, for me for IPL, I actually never got agreed. I never got like actually confirmed until Ellie slotted me in for slotted me in for broadcasting with ACC recently. So that's the funny thing. I was slotted before because of the YouTube side. So yeah, I think that's enough. That's literally all our backs. That's enough backstory for now, or that we can say, because we went. This is basically no. This is not GatorLAN yapping at the top. This is the CKK interview. So yeah, So that top part, that top part is wrong. I don't know what we got. What it was called GatorLAN yapping. I don't know why. No, this is the CKK interview. So yeah. Anyways, with that, I guess. CKK, since this is your episode and this is not the end, after 2 hours and 35 minutes, holy, yeah, broadcasters can yap if you allow them to be. Yeah,
you allow them to. Normally they're quiet. They have plenty to say.
Yeah, we need to pick up. Yeah, we need to pick up brains out. Anyways, do you want to shout out anything?
Yeah, check out GatorLAN. Keep them. Keep an eye on them and that competition and that land. Show up if you can, if you're in the area. I also want to shout out esports at UCF. I mentioned that earlier. I love UCF. I love working with them. That's why I was the president of the club for a little bit. So check out esports at UCF. And as for myself, I don't care whether or not you actually follow me, but I do stuff under the handle CKK312. So, or 312, whatever you want to call it. So if you need me for something and you want to do something fun or want to involve me in a cool idea or project, just let me know. But yeah, that's everything I have to say. Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure. If you ever need me to get back on just to start talking again, just let me know.
Yeah, no, 100%. But now, in graphics wise, thank you, Cactus, us Dapple, for allowing us to use, well, no, not allowing. That was to steal your to steal your podcast overlay, Cactus, and Dapple for using the Azure dashboard, because we have access to it as Dapple streamers. So yeah, thanks for that. The background was for Pepe. As also search, this is the team roster screen. If you didn't notice, CKK. So yeah, this is the team roster screen for Sunset Search. So thanks for that. And that's you can see I helped with the Sunset Surge and that's also with the graphics. So yeah, I helped with the make the stream overlay. So yeah, that's the only thing how I have it. So yeah, that should be everything. This is not good. Like you said earlier about like editing and post. This is not gonna be edited in post. This is gonna be just uploaded a lot. So yeah. This is gonna be an experience, and this is
raw and uncut.
Raw uncut. If I ever do edit this or just dumb it down, that could happen. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, damn. I guess this is the first episode of the Chillcast, production wise, or whatever this is called. There might be more people with LCS coming back with the streamer wise, or maybe honestly, fuck it. We might come back again and being like we could yap about something else. We'll see.
I'm down if you need to make it 3 people instead of just 2. Like I said, 3 to 4 guys with a microphone always goes crazy.
Oh yeah, that would go crazy. Yeah, but that's a good start. Uploads again would be soon enough as of May 1st at 1:30 a.m. EST or EDT, whatever the fuck the time zone is right now. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so thank CKK for coming on to the Chillcast for the first time ever being actually made after so long.
Let's go. We did it.
We did it. We made a podcast. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whenever this happens again, it'll happen again. Comments in the bottom if you want to communicate about it or ask about anything else as well. Who knows? If you want to do a Q&A section about it next time, but anything else we could. But yeah, this will be uploaded to everywhere after. But yeah, I guess subscribe to my bot channel. Mostly not, I guess, because it's a VOD channel. But my main thing is just join on Beats Guy or just join on YouTube. It's a link as well. But like, honestly, it depends if I ever do anything again. But yeah, you can find me and CKK streaming for Dapple on twitch.tv/Dapple Productions, or be on IPL Splatoon, twitch.tv/IPL Splatoon, CKK for streaming, me for commentating, CCA, CCA Splatoon that existed. There's off season now, and then there's also Splatoon tourney, twitch.tv/Splatoon tourney, and I think that's all the orgs that we worked on.
Should be, yeah.
Should be.
For me.
Yeah, for you. Oh, you're under pressure.
I haven't done anything under pressure. I've asked.
Okay, we need to get you slide in with Ellie. So, twitch.tv/EUB Splatoon, day one, if they setting sail as well soon, and junior draft as well. So, yeah, that's all the productions that you really should care about. I think that's it. So that's cool. And now, as the final notes, what do you want to say?
Oh, like any
What is the last thing? What is the last thing you want to say so we can go over to 2 hours and so we can get over the 2 hour and 40-minute mark?
This is like the outtakes. That's funny. Oh, I have nothing. Oh no, I have nothing.
That's the last thing that you're gonna be saying, and the last thing that we're gonna be saying, if I can say, is how did we spend 2 hours and 40 minutes in the Dapple Twitch server and no one knows that? I was like, what are you guys doing? That's the most funny thing.
They gotta be sleeping. Remember, they're all EU. It's like 6 a.m.
That is true. Well, yeah, okay. That is the great thing to end it on. Thank you, Dapple, for allowing us to stay in the server and not use your podcast well because it didn't work. How do you use an overlay cactus? Like the bottom thing is not flashing. How the fuck did you get it to work before? but we noticed you have a secret channel here in the Dapple Twitch server or Dapple Pod server. Slide that in, gamer. Come on, you know you wanna. Anyways, yeah, no, and also that's a shout out to just watch the cactus patch on Dapple as well when that comes. We're not gonna be on there. Most likely we won't because, you know, they worry about the big names and we're just a little guy, so we need to make our own thing. So,
Exactly.
yeah. This is a call out for us, by the way. So, exactly. But yeah. Yeah, that's actually it now. It's 2 hours, 40 minutes. It was a good yapping session. Good night.
Good night.